Nothing gets the blood moving like that awesome music theme and that video. What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Arvanauts. Welcome, everybody, to a somewhat unusual Friday stream. And welcome to day 43 of Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. We are calling this That Which Remains. I hope everyone is doing well. I am looking forward to the stream tonight. It has been almost 2 months because we met with Expedition at the beginning of January, and now we're meeting here at the end of February. So it's like 7 weeks ago or something like that that we last met here. And we normally, of course, would do these on Saturdays, but we had to accommodate a bit of a schedule change, and so did not want to miss this month. And so we're here on Friday, and we'll be back, or at least I will be back on Sunday on GOG.com's Twitch channel for By the Dice Roll with some Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So we've got a couple of tabletop games going on this weekend. Before we go any further, just a couple of reminders about ways to support the channel. If you haven't done so already, please follow us here on the channel. Please check out our YouTube and follow us over there as well with !ArvTube. Would love to see people there. Would love to see people subscribe over there. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out, so please do that. Discord is !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Blue Sky is !ArvSky. Please join us and follow us over there as well. And the website for this, arvaneleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop. That is the merchandise area where you can get stuff that's cool swag for you and also supports the channel. The Patreon is !ArvTreon. Trying to build that back up into triple digits. That's what gives you inspirations to help our tabletop players, and also gives you a bunch of unique stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So please consider supporting us over there. Please consider as well subscribing to the channel. You get those custom sub badges and emotes too here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, and that really helps too. And if you haven't done so already, please consider supporting us with all of those financial things, and also by supporting us on the publishing side. !Icarus, that's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. !Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library. That's my 5e adventure and source book, my best-selling 5e adventure and source book from Alligator Alley Entertainment, which also sponsors this Expedition campaign. And if you have not already done so, please consider checking out Greyshade. That is my Greyshade IP. Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic, the Grey Assassin trilogy from Athos Arts, available at that link. Award-winning, critically acclaimed. You can also get the 3 audiobooks of Greyshade, Renegade, and Heretic from our very own Trent Sparks at that link. And you can pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade, which is coming out from Alligator Alley again, and from Brandon O'Brien as lead designer very shortly in the next couple of months, so please consider pre-ordering that as well. As always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention, important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others when they need help as well. And !Ukraine, UKRAINE, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message. We'll do so for others in that situation in the future. And please, if you have not already done so, continue to send your thoughts, good wishes, prayers, and so on to the people of Minnesota, and especially Minneapolis, as they continue to battle against federal occupation, and do so, again, with bravery and courage. Solidarity with them and with all those who are continuing to fight this fight, because we are going to win, and that's a matter of all of us working together. Again, we're doing this stream tonight. Probably will not be streaming tomorrow night as I would normally do, but I will be back on Sunday afternoon over on GOG.com's Twitch channel from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern with By the Dice Roll, back with Ghosts of Saltmarsh again. And then next week, we are into the first week of March, and a lot of stuff going down as we head down spring. By the way, just a note, but as of next week, we'll only be 2 months away from ArvCon. So, get yourselves ready and geared up for the greatest event of the year, as noticed by everybody in the world. But very excited for that, so that's going to be awesome times. Okay, now I'm going to unmute myself and apologize for anyone that I might have interrupted because I couldn't hear them, and then I'm going to unmute them. And last but certainly not least, I am going to, although I note as I'm about to do that, I almost was thrown off by the cameras, but I successfully managed to get everyone back in order, and so everyone looks great. And I have unmuted them so that they can be heard, and we're ready to go. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to head over to reveal the crew. We are back. Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks is back in the house. I am excited. Back in the house and back underneath the ship, and back battling strange robot things. So it's just another Friday basically. But it's good to see all these lovely folks here, and I will start with the person at the top left of the screen, and that is one Rhiannon Held. Good to see you, Rhiannon. How's everything with you in your neck of the woods and all that stuff? And whom are you playing this evening?
It has been a very daffodil planting sort of weather around here, so that's
Okay.
nice. I've got some in my backyard that I'm finally doing something with. I've had this house for a while, but I'm finally doing something a little bit with the garden.
Isn't it like
That's
there's
nice.
still the risk of a freeze, isn't there? Like you could get freezing? No, not really.
I mean, yeah. The daffodils, they can take their chances
It
because
just
all the
toughens
ones
them
that
up.
all the ones that self not seeded but self bulbed from the last owners are already
Oh,
flowering, some of them.
wow.
Um,
Okay.
so I'm like, I'll put some more in.
Gotcha. Okay. It's West Coast strong. I get it. It's fine.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
all right. Well, when not planting daffodils, who are you
We're
playing
not
this
planting
evening?
daffodils. So I'm playing Sataria Verbin, half elf, sorcerer, divine soul sorcerer. So lots of healing stuff going on there.
Which may be needed. I was thinking about as I was prepping for this, and there was a whole lot in last session of Sataria just booking it down a hallway towards the sound of Ford's fighting and laser beams. So it's going to be fun to see. Sataria's healing will be needed, I suspect, quite soon. Always a pleasure, though, to have Rhiannon with us, and also a pleasure to have one Toya Kristen Finley with us. Toya, it's good to see you. We heard in the green room before chat that while Rhiannon is planting daffodils, Toya is avoiding exploding trees because that's in the year of our Lord 2026. That's what we do now. I had 9 burst pipes in my house, and Toya had I don't know if it was 9, but burst trees basically in the backyard. So how are you doing? Is cleanup occurring? Are the trees, have they agreed to stop exploding? And who are you playing today?
Well, the trees exploded the last week of January because we got 2 inches of ice on top of snow. The falling branches knocked down the Xfinity wire, which took about a week and a half to get fixed. And then one of the very large branches perched right on top of a power line.
Oh, great.
And that was there for about 2.5 weeks until the electric company could come and cut it off. And then another one fell and smashed down the fence. So the dogs could not be in the yard for about 3 weeks, which they absolutely adored.
I was going to say, I'm sure they understood. They were very
Yes.
fine, yeah.
And yeah. So that was a lot of fun. So even though the storm was gone, the ramifications of the storm were in the yard. They have been up and down my street. I was also telling everyone that the ice completely uprooted some trees. There was one in a yard in my neighborhood. There was another very large tree that fell into the street. It was fun watching SUVs try to get around that. And all up and down Nashville, you still see gigantic logs from these massive trees that, the electric service has come and cut in half, and they still haven't been hauled off.
Oh my
So
God.
the remnants of parts of our trees are still in the alley waiting to be picked up. So
Toy, it occurs to me that Zach's and my mutual friend Jordan also lives in Nashville and
Yeah.
lives in a place that's way up this like steep
he lives in
driveway.
Jolton.
I don't remember what, but it's up a steep driveway, his house specifically. So there was all this talk of, and I wonder what it was like for him with like ice
Well,
and all that stuff. I didn't ask him. When
there
I
are
saw him,
some parts of Nashville where literally the whole street is just covered in massive trees that fell into the street and on top of cars.
yeah,
So,
it's weather, y'all. It's a thing. I'm glad that you're okay though, and the
yeah.
dogs. And when not dodging exploding trees, who are you playing, Toya?
I am playing Nalik, also known as Nals Darkly, a human bard.
Awesome. And I am excited to see what Nulls gets up to because there's a robot murmuring weird things at all of these folks. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Always good to see Toya. Also good to see LaShawn. LaShawn Amwanik is back with us as well. LaShawn, did you were like, and I battled sinkholes. Like, what was your ridiculous weather situation that you want to tell us, and who are you playing today? If you had a ridiculous weather.
Actually, no, it's been relatively temperate, meaning it's been cold up here in Madison, Wisconsin. So we've been basically chilly. It's just been chilly. The past couple of days, well, I wouldn't say the past couple of days, but today and maybe a couple of days ago, we're finally kind of breaking away from the chilly weather, and it was like within 50 degrees. Today was 55, but tomorrow it goes back down to 23. So fun times.
Charming.
Very, very cold, and February is refusing to relinquish its chill.
Right?
So,
oh my God,
we'll see how it goes.
Well, when you are not battling being a snow person because of that, who are you playing this evening?
I am playing Raven Galinar, who is a Lorendi, who has been pulled into this universe, and she's an adept, but she used to be a medic. Because she has medic powers, but they're a little bit weird and a little bit twisted, and she's dealing with a lot of stuff. And yeah, it's fun.
It's fun, and there's going to be more where that came from today, as we will discuss in terms of creatures that get run into. But we shall see how that goes. Always a pleasure to have LaShawn with us, and last but certainly not least, also a pleasure as always to have Zach Clay with us. Zach, I shouldn't even ask you this question. Like, you're like, well, I had several wildfires that were on the roof of my home for 5 seconds and then left, and how's weather conditions out in the no doubt frigid Bay Area, and who are you playing today?
It's been frigid the past couple weeks, but actually over the last few days, it's starting to get hot as if it's summer again, which is not good.
Yeah, no.
Like even just yesterday, I went out for a walk at 2 p.m. And it felt like it was uncomfortable. I was like, no, this is supposed to be nice. I had to wait until like 5 p.m. to where it was back to being a moderate temperature. It wasn't like super hot, summer hot, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. And now just in the last couple days, like my room becomes an oven when things are a little too hot, and it's starting to turn to oven mode even as we speak. I have my fans and stuff on, but anyway, so weather's behaving strangely. It happens often here though. Either way. When not, I was going to say when not avoiding, I'm just going to be consistent. When not avoiding bizarre weather patterns, who are you playing this evening? When I'm not avoiding bizarre weather patterns, and even when I am playing Dr. Duraxis, a Dendis cybermancer who was a celebrity, but now because he has no Wi-Fi, his only fans are the fellow people in the party with him, if they're fans of his at all. And to be clear, that's his only space fans. Yeah, I realized that after I want to be very clear about that. You guys have not learned what sort of celebrity he was. That's how Triffin said the same thing. Drexus has an only fan. Wah, wah. Yeah, that's oh my goodness. Let's just move right on from that. That's moving swiftly on. But no, always a pleasure to have Zach with us as well. I'm really excited to have this crew back. And you may be asking yourselves, it's been a little while. What exactly was I'm glad you all asked, because in our last session, this crew, this happy crew, has been brought together through circumstance and fate for a variety of reasons, but the main reasons that they are in this current Feld starship known as the Centurion is because they are trying to, in one case, or well, two cases really now, track down the source of a beacon that may have originally brought their ship, at least in Draxus's case, down upon the planet. But also now, because both those who started on this planet and those who started off it have begun to
recognize the threat posed by these creatures known as the Caridin, some kind of psychically enormously powerful creatures from some extra dimensional space. They don't exactly know what they're here for, but they know that they are dangerous, and they've been taking over the minds of some of the people on this planet, and also pose a risk to these people, to this crew. And when the crew, having worked its way through this ship, entered a sort of a small computer control room, they found a hologram there of a woman dressed in a uniform, sort of glitching out a little bit, pointing down at a hole that basically has been broken in from the natural cave into the ship, and saying, "Close gate, danger," and then vanishes, basically, glitches out. And so Nulls and Raven and Jaraxxus ended up going down that hallway, and eventually discovered down there a powerful creature that looks like this. I have just posted on OBS on the stream. That looks like this powerful robotic guardian, which it just occurred to me, if Brandon O'Brien ever gets here, he's going to say that this looks vaguely like Kamen Rider. I could see that a little bit too. But in any case, very powerful creature that looked at the party and blasted them with some message that said, like that. And not understanding whatever the hell that just was, that gibberish. The party was nonetheless affected somewhat by this, although I believe that they managed to break free of the various conditions that created. Now they just have to deal with the missile fire and this strong thing like bashing them over and over again. So we are in the middle of a fight as we start up here. I just want to double check quickly on hit point totals. I believe I have Nalik at still 38 out of 38. I don't think you got hit in that fight, Toya, right? Nulls is still normal?
I've not.
Sataria, you are at 22 out of 22 because you haven't even gotten down there yet. But soon, TM. Jaraxxus is sitting at, I have you at 28 out of 28. I also had you at 8 temp because I don't think you had been hit yet either, Jaraxxus.
That's what I have.
Then, of course, we have our dire wolf, Gamork. And then at the bottom of the round in terms of initiative, we have Raven, who has decided to act as the tank for the party and has taken so far 15 points of damage and is sitting at 13 out of 28 I have you at. Is that right, Raven?
Yep, that's correct.
All right. And so that means let's get to the top of the round and let me fire up a little bit of music like this. There we go. And let's get into this thing. Where's my turn order? 1 second. Oh, there it is. I was like, what the heck? Although, actually, now that I think of it, we've been doing this theater of the mind because I don't have a map for this. So the dice roller is probably not as important for people to see it yet. But trust me, chat, there will be more maps to be seen not too long from now. All right, so we're going to come to the top of the round. As just to remind everyone about positioning, Nulls and not Sataria, Nulls, Jaraxxus, Gamork, and Raven are... Actually, wait a minute, let me think about Gamork. Was Gamork with you, or was Gamork with Sataria?
He was Sataria because he can't fit down.
That's right. That's why he's not there. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and Sataria had to leave him behind.
That's right. Okay, I remember. Okay, good. I was like, why don't I remember Gamork being in this fight? It's because he wasn't. Okay. So that means that Nulls and Jaraxxus and Raven are battling against this robotic guardian, while Sataria is almost there. Sataria is going to get there this round, just so we know. So you will finally arrive on the scene. So we're going to start at the top of the round, Nulls, with you. This creature has repeatedly fired missiles, keeps doing this weird thing. But you have knocked it around a fair bit, Jaraxxus and Raven in particular. What would you like to do, Nulls?
I would like to shoot at it with my crossbow of wounding, but I need to make sure that I have a clear shot. I'm not going to hit anyone.
I would think that you do have a clear shot, yes, mostly because of its size. Like, you basically are able to aim above it, unless, Raven and Jaraxxus start, one jumping on the shoulders of the other and swaying back and forth. I think you'll probably be pretty good to be able to hit it. So yes, I think you have a shot.
All right, let me... Did that show up? Did not show up for me.
Let me see.
Okay, it said 18.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me go back to there. Ah, yes. An 18, I believe hits. Just give me 1 second. I lost my notes about this guy. Show me the. What? Where did he? Okay. I will find it. I had him a second ago. There we go. Yes. Yeah. Specifically, this creature is 8 feet tall. I thought they were. I thought they were pretty tall. Yes, that will hit.
All right. Let's see here.
Is that looking like 3 points of piercing damage, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Okay. That will definitely hit it. Ftunk. And actually, you were using your crossbow of wounding.
Correct.
Which means, what did I tell you the crossbow of wounding does?
So it takes 1 necrotic damage for each time you've wounded it, and then it makes a DC 13 Constitution saving throw, ending the effect of all such wounds on itself on a success.
Have you hit it before?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think this is the first time. So it's going to take an additional point of damage, and it now has 1 wound.
Yeah, because my first roll was a 6.
Okay.
So yeah.
So 1 wound, pending whether or not it makes this roll. Let's see if it does. Let's find out about that. Okay. Right. There we go. And you said a con save?
Yes.
Okay, DC 13. It
Yes.
is going to make that. So it will throw. When does it make that con save? Immediately?
Okay, so once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack using this weapon, you can wound the target. At the start of each of the wounded creature's turns,
Oh, okay. So let me
it
wait.
takes 1.
Okay. So then I will. All right. So then I will. When it goes, I will do that dice roll and the whole bit. And so we'll say it's wounded for the moment. All right. Good stuff, Niles. Where are you going to move, if anywhere? You just basically are able to jump out, and you can see the picture that I have up is actually fairly accurate. You're more or less firing down a hallway at it. So
Okay, I am going to take cover right behind this arch here.
Okay. You can do that. As a reminder, by the way, when Raven hit, I mentioned this at the end of last session, but just as a reminder, when Raven hit the creature with this necrotic damage that Raven you did previous at the very end of our last fight, the runes on the wall, these sort of runes glowed on the walls, and it reminded Nulls quite a bit of the runes that you saw back in Celis, when there were similar sounds, and the sort of look of the runes is very similar also, which may or may not mean Caridin involvement, but in any case, I'm just noting that for your education. Okay, so you take a step back. Sataria, you come screaming down the hallway, and by screaming I just mean speed, to find your party more or less in the way that I've described them. You see Nulls having fired a shot. You can see Jaraxxus sort of halfway down the hallway having fired at it several times. And you can also see Raven up close and personal, actually, with this thing. This 8-foot tall robotic creature. Raven looks pretty messed up. Other people look more or less healthy, and the robot itself seems to be sparking a little bit. So that's what you see.
Well, let's do something for Raven right off.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do the meta magic thing where cure wounds rather than touch. It's 30 feet.
Love
Can
it.
I get? Okay.
Yep. I love it. Wow, 20? Dang, all right.
Ooh, cool.
That's why I like to. You suddenly feel super healthy, Raven. All right, that's back up to full. Very nice, Sataria. Let's see, cure wounds, which was operating as an action. Okay, so you did that. Good stuff with the meta magic. Where do you want to go? You can see now where Nulls has placed herself. So do you want to go over there for protection, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So Nulls, you see Sataria like duck behind you.
And I just say, sup. No, I don't.
Okay, Jaraxxus, you were up next. The creature is going to go next based on previous patterns. So
I'm going to do what I do best, which is shoot it with a sprite beam.
Okay.
Shoot it. Let's see. +6, 4d10. I'm wondering. Oh, because each sprite beam is 2d10. Oh no. Okay. I'm looking in the past to see if I cast Symbiote Mark on it. I don't think I did. So I'm still gonna hold off. I'm just gonna do 2 sprite beams. Classic.
Okay.
17th verse is same as the first.
Yep, absolutely.
Here we go. So, what's that? So that's a 15 to hit.
A 15 will hit, yes.
Okay. A second sprite beam for 19 to hit.
19 will miraculously miss. No, just kidding. Yes, that will hit.
That would be a funny monster. It's like hits except this one number.
I can't get my head around it. Actually,
All right.
Dragonbane, the new one that I'm playing, a dragon which is a critical hit is a 1, and a demon which is a critical miss is a 20. So they literally reverse. You want to roll low, not high. Anyway,
That must be infuriating.
it's strange. It's cool but strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I played Perils and Princesses once, and have run it, and that game also works like that.
Yeah.
1 is a crit, 20 is. Okay, I'm gonna do my damage now, which is a D10 plus 4 per beam. So I'm gonna do 2d10 plus 8.
Wow. 2d10 plus 8.
21 damage.
21.
I'm here. I'm
Wow.
here to deal it, man.
You like slam it, and it like staggers back from the force of the sprite beam, and it looks directly at you, Jaraxxus, and says,
Jaraxxus says, "If I could understand you, I'd still be fighting."
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna do. For now.
Where are you standing? More or less middle of the hall?
Yes, I think so. Yep.
All right, it is the bad guy's turn. Now, at the beginning of this turn, it is going to take 1 necrotic damage, and then is going to attempt to save out of the wound that was given it by Null's crossbow of wounding. Oh, and it's going to critically succeed. This thing's rather strong. So it is going to shrug off the wound. It actually pulls forth the crossbow bolt, and in one hand just snaps it, and then just sort of tosses it to the side, Nulls. Unnecessary flex. And then it decides to deal with the creature that is right in front of it, which happens to be, unfortunately for Raven. The creature attempts to basically slam his metal fist down upon you, Raven.
Oh, jeez.
And is going to get 3 attacks to do this.
Oh my gosh.
So let's see. We start with the exciting 10. I don't think that's going to hit.
10?
First one is a 10.
Oh,
10
no.
will not hit you, right?
No, it won't hit me.
Okay. Then we have a 16.
That does hit.
Now, you have your armor on, though, right? I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's still,
Yeah.
it still hits?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next one is a 15. So a 10, a 16, and a 15.
Yes.
Both of those hit?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. This is probably going to hurt a little bit, it looks like. All right.
Oh dear.
Each slam, ow, it does 25 points of damage to you, Raven, as it, and you just like stagger under the blow of this slam. 25 points of bludgeoning damage. It is a good thing Sataria arrived on the scene a second ago. I wonder if it's ever frustrating for healers when they're like, "Here you go." And like, I assume this is what happens in WoW, right? Like, you're doing
Yep.
raids and you're like, "Oh, the bar goes down, the bar goes up." Anyway, yeah, Raven, you do manage to hold your ground in terms of not being knocked over, but it just, just slams into you, and then looks down at you balefully and says, I mean, as balefully as a robot could look, but you know what I mean. All right. It obviously is going to stay where it is. Raven, it is your turn. Now, this has been pretty messed up, this thing, but it also has messed you up quite a bit. So what do you want to do?
Oh my gosh, I'm still like calculating my hit points. I'm like, damn.
Yep. You're at 3 right now.
I'm at 3.
3 hit points.
Wow. Oh gosh. Okay.
I think you
Well,
should back away. Jiraxis usually tanks too. He would not
Yeah.
mind.
yeah. Although, if I recall correctly, the reason why she's up close to begin with is because she was stunned. The robot was doing some sort of like sound noise that disoriented her.
Yes.
And I think everybody was able to get out of it except for her.
Yes, although I think you now have gotten clear of it, because I don't
Okay,
have it as a
all right.
condition. Now, you still have to back. You can't just run away without it attacking you, though. So you have to, back off 5 feet and then kind of make your way slowly back or whatever. I guess you could turn and run if you wanted, but that is inviting an attack of opportunity. So
No, seeing that she had initially flailed and basically threw trauma at it, I feel like she's going to just do that. Well, the question is, does she do it again, or?
it's a good point, by the way, Triffid. We're just looking at those who have stuff in chat. I'm not sure if any of those people that are listed are there tonight. Channel points inspirations are used up, so we do not have any of those for this month. But you could always chat, subscribe at the tier 2 level or support the Patreon at the tier 2 level. Either of those things would be helpful, and would give some inspirations to you to help these players along. Also, a reminder that as people come in, this is probably going to be a lower turnout tonight because I don't usually stream on a Friday, so I expect fewer people. But if we get more people in here, I hope we do. As a reminder, don't forget that any bits that are cheered during this session will get collated, and then eventually will result in me being able to distribute some of that money to the players. So think about that if you were able to do so. Sorry, Raven, I didn't mean to interrupt your thought process.
Okay. I think I may try. Okay. This might be something that she can do. She's gonna try and do synaptic recoil,
Okay.
which should, if it works, it will move away from me. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, if I did that. And she's gonna, but I'm also like getting kind of low.
I also have a question. Have you tried anything associated with psychic damage with this creature to this point?
What was trauma?
It's a good question.
Trauma was
There's guidance, there's cure wounds. Necrotic damage. Oh no, that was
Okay,
dark. That was dark.
necrotic.
Well, that was dark conduit. Sorry.
oh, okay, all right.
I don't know what trauma was. Okay. Anyway, never mind. I was just curious. Okay. So you're thinking about maybe doing synaptic recoil.
Maybe. Actually, I have a feeling that we tried psychic and it didn't work. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think it might have been either Knowles or someone tried it, but it was immune to that kind of damage, psychic damage.
I don't have a psychic
It
weapon.
might not have been you. So I thought somebody tried it, which is why.
Yeah, it may have been me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been me. Okay. So, necrotic. Okay. Ugh. Feel like I should just do trauma again. But that will involve touching it. But I should also get away.
Yeah.
It's a veritable smorgasbord
My-
of tough decisions.
If
Wait! I know what I can do. Okay. Alright. I have a way to create another barrier around myself.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do Aegis. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going
Okay.
to do that and then slowly try to back away. Maybe.
So you have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, blah, blah, blah. Receive a +2 bonus to your burst save. Okay. Yeah, so you can, if you want to, you can do that. That is an action. So for your move, you can sort of disengage 5 feet, or you can try to basically move your regular move away from it. If you do that, though, take your move action, then it could get an attack of opportunity. Although, as you just noted, you would have resistance against damage dealt by weapon attacks. That said, though, you are only at 3 hit points, so even resistance, may not be resistant enough. So it's up to you whether you want to do that or just back away 5 feet.
I'll just back away 5 feet
Okay.
and
Okay.
and activate Aegis.
All right. You back away 5 feet. You activate Aegis. Sataria, you can see that your healing came none too soon and that it's kind of gone again. As we hit the top of the round, Nulls, you are up. This creature is badly hurt. So is your compatriot. What would you like to do?
Okay, I've got a question because, Maltz has also noticed the glowing glyphs, and it reminds her of that creature in, I remember it was forest or woods or whatever, but it was like a mushroom or fungal associated creature.
Yeah, you talk about the Lady of the Wood where you had like
Yes.
the pods and everything. Yes, but
Yes.
this does not. These runes and the colors of them don't look quite like that. Just so you know, they look more like the creatures below the surface in Celis that you saw before, or at least the runes in those hallways that you were walking down. That it reminds you a little more of that. You could still go on with whatever you were imagining, but that was
So-
what it sort of looked like to you.
The thing that's it's like an interconnectedness. That's the
Yeah.
thing that she's noticing. So with the Lady of the Wood, one thing she did, she started stomping the ground because there's a whole root network underground.
Yep.
So here's what I want to ask: if Null started stomping, would that be a bonus action, or is it just something she'd be doing?
I think it's probably just something she'd be doing unless you're
Okay.
spending a lot of time, like if you're trying to stomp in a rhythmic way, like like almost like you're dancing.
No, I mean like just stomping, because what I would like to do is I would like to shoot again, but also use a bonus action. So I want to make sure that stomping would not be a bonus action.
Yeah, no, stomping. I think I would say you can use stomping as part of your movement. I would say.
Okay.
I know.
So
stomp.
I'm going to do that. First of all, I am going to use my level 3 healing word on Raven.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, 60 feet and healing word. That's 9 points, Raven, looks like. So
Okay.
up to a hale and hearty 12. Better than 3.
And I am going to shoot again with my crossbow of wounding, and I am stomping.
And I'm stomping. Now, I should point out, Nonstop has arrived. First of all, hi, Nonstop. And Nonstop does have an inspiration. Someone may need that inspiration. I don't know if the party wants to call for it on this shot or be one of those, like, save it for I'm about to get my head cut off type of thing. I don't know. You tell me, Nulls, if you would like Nonstop to inspire you or not for that attack.
Well, that is a 7, which is not going to do diddly.
It's true.
I think Raven is a little bit better for the time being.
Okay.
I'm in a safe spot for the time being, If everybody is cool with it, I think we hold on to this inspiration
Okay.
for a bit.
So then hold off on it nonstop, but you may be desperately needed. Yes. All right. Yeah. Sadly, though, that shot misses. Knowles, are you ducking back in? Also, hi, Echo. Are you ducking
Yes.
back in?
Yes.
Okay. You duck back into place, which means it's now Sataria's turn. Raven looking a little better, slightly better.
And the robot itself looks
Pretty damaged. Not right
Pretty
at the edge of
damaged.
death, but it's been beat up quite a bit. Yeah.
okay. Well, because I want to get, I'll just do it. My spiritual weapon going,
Okay.
and then it can continue while I'm doing other healing stuff.
Love it.
Um,
Oh yeah. So 21, as it appears next to it, and I think it can attack. I believe the turn that it arrives, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, that will definitely hit. And did I see 11 points? That
Yep.
of force damage. Yeah, slams into it and sort of staggers against a wall, which is gibberish for "God damn it, spiritual weapon." All right, good stuff, Sataria. What now?
Well, so to cast it is an action. So, I'm done.
All right, you're gonna stay.
Wait,
Yeah.
is it? I thought it
Oh
was a
no,
bonus.
it's a bonus. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought just moving it was a bonus.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a bonus to move it. I think it probably is a bonus. I don't. I think spiritual weapon is a bonus to cast too.
Well,
so, yeah.
it says that
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yep. Yeah. So yeah. So you do have an action.
Okay. I'm gonna do the healing spell trick again, slightly lower level on the spell. Still.
All right. Now that one. So you're still doing the meta magic to get it to.
Yeah.
Okay. So 12. All right. So Raven is back up to 24. See. It's fine. Look at Raven just like absorbs all the damage. You all put her back together. It's all fine. It's no problem. Good stuff, Sataria. Literally did not show up a turn too early. Like no joke. Because Knowles did a good job of that heal, but having, like primary healer in place is really helpful here. All right, good stuff. And then are you staying, Sataria, more or less in the same spot?
Yeah.
Where you were behind them? Okay. Draxus, you were up next. This creature is pretty hurt, although not destroyed yet, but pretty damaged. Actually, because it just got hit by the spiritual weapon, it's now very hurt now that I think of it. So.
Right as it's my turn is when you might hear my dogs barking. But I am going to do it again.
Okay.
Shoot more sprite beams. And I'm going to make sure to end my turn by barking like a dog.
That's
And
what
then-
Gamork is doing on the other end of the hallway.
Yeah,
Like,
this is just the echoes of Gamork barking. I'm going to make sure to use my movement to get right up next to the robot. Just as Draxus says, my turn. But I'm going to shoot it from a distance first because I
Sounds
know
good.
that I would get disadvantage if I'm in melee otherwise. So I'm basically walking up and shooting it as I'm walking.
I love it.
23 to hit.
Yep.
And 23 to hit.
Jeez. Yes,
I'm
both will hit.
Here to do damage, good sir. Oh, not too much damage though. 14 points.
14
of
points
force.
collective.
Collective,
Collectively.
yes.
You'll be happy to know that after all the other damage it's taken, both of those beams slam into it. It slams against the wall, and then as it drops, sort of slides down the wall, it says, and the creature sparks, and then the light in its eyes dies. It looks like it is destroyed.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I want to note, though, is that even after it goes down, as you're sort of looking at it and everyone's just sort of going, how's everyone doing? Everyone okay? You can still hear somewhere in the far distance down this hallway, you hear...
Another one.
No, you don't know about that. It feels much more echoey than that. It's almost as if a little bit of it is all around you right now, these sounds. But the creature is destroyed.
So, real quick question. So, the room where the hologram was, could we get into it?
Yes, you were able to get into the room, and it was the little like sort of cave, natural cave area that opened up into that room, like, or I guess the opposite, the cave opened up into this room that allowed you access to this sort of natural cave. But I want to point out that as you went down this natural cave, by the time you got to the guardian, this creature, it wasn't natural anymore. It looked again like you were back in some sort of metallic hall, technology-based stuff, not natural cave-based stuff. So, so yeah.
We interacted with that room, and if I'm remembering correctly, nobody could. There was writing or something, and we couldn't decipher it.
That's right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Hey, Prince Justin.
Okay. Draxus will look around and say, "Everyone, all right? Raven, you took some big hits there."
Raven isn't saying anything right now. She's just kind of like, even though she's healed, she's just kind of like leaning against the wall and kind of like gripping her chest. She's not quite on the verge of going catatonic again, but yeah.
Perhaps we should give her a moment. Anybody
Draxus
else notice what's going on the wall?
I do not. What's going on? I look at the wall.
Slightly glowing blue runes. They faded quite a bit since the hits that were taken, but they're still there a little bit. And actually, now that all of you are looking at assuming all of you look at the wall, I would like each of you to make perception checks for me, please. Okay, I got a 6, I got an 8, I got a 14.
I'm great at this.
I got a 2, which is narratively appropriate. Raven's like, no thanks. But Nalls, it's appropriate, I think, that you see this. So it is faint blue, but Nalls, as you're looking at the runes and you hear this, as you're hearing that sort of like murmuring, the runes are pulsing in some basic rhythmic pattern with the murmuring. Like,
so explain that to everyone, the runes are pulsating along with the murmuring, and they're connected. And then I say, Jaraxxus, you remember the Lady of the Wood? How she was connected to everything around her, and also everything underneath.
Yes, maybe this does have something to do with that.
And also the caves in Celis as well.
Oh, right.
I wonder if we can attack without having to attack, if you know what I mean.
I don't exactly know what you mean, but I will say that I do.
Well, if the walls, or what's behind them, are somehow connected to this voice, if we can attack the walls, maybe we can attack the voice.
I guess the question is, do we want to?
Well, whatever I'm hearing sounds a whole lot like our friend that just passed out over there.
Yeah. We also could just keep walking a bit. But if you wish to attack the wall, I will help you.
What do you think, Sataria?
I feel like we should save attacking the wall until we are attacked, and then we can come back here and maybe use that. Because meanwhile, um, I wish there was some way we could use magic to read it, because I feel like it's asking to be read.
Oh, I can try. Draxus will pull out
Would you like a little guidance first?
always. Draxus will pull out a small device of some kind, and will cast the Prime Talent Analyze device, which says you understand everything about the campaign, and the GM has to tell you everything.
No.
It says you discover all commands, workings, and electronic or mechanical functions of an automaton, construct, device, machine, or vehicle. You gain basic knowledge on how to activate and operate it.
You're doing this
yeah.
on the
On the glowing part of the wall.
So the wall is not a device.
Okay.
And the glowing part of the wall does seem to be sort of infused
Okay.
rather than constructed.
Got
It is
it.
not a construct or device.
Well, yeah, okay. And
Or
it's not a machine.
Nope.
Okay, yeah. Or a vehicle.
or a vehicle.
Let's just go through the list.
Damn it,
yeah.
it's a vehicle, yes.
Okay, what if I bend down to cast this talent on the dead construct we just defeated?
You probably could do that if you cast that. What you would, if you use that talent, what you would discover is that it is a robotic creature. That it is probably the best way to describe it is it's a robotic creature that has clearly been modified at some point, and you know that because some of the things that it's using, like it had a plasma rifle, which is technology that's more advanced than what the sort of joints and the metal and things like that would suggest. It was clearly and completely an automaton, not an intellect that was somehow, entered into the body. It wasn't even an AI. It was operating on some basically programmed pattern, presumably to attack invaders, whatever that meant. As to why it was doing this, there's nothing about the analyze device that tells you anything about that. And in fact, there's another thing, Draxus, since you did this analyze device thing. It doesn't have any voice modulator. It shouldn't be capable of producing sound.
Scary.
Is someone thinking through it?
Maybe. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I say we keep walking.
Wait.
What?
If someone somehow is communicating through it, then they must know we're here, because they sent it after us.
Maybe. The creatures like these are often programmed beforehand, so it may just be repeating an order that was given to it an hour or a millennia ago. But it shouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I see your point. Either way, I don't see another course of action than to walk down this hallway.
I understand. I'm just saying we should probably proceed with a lot more caution.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Raven pushes away from the wall and goes, I agree. I also feel there's some sort of, I don't know, that wasn't just automated. whatever that thing was. That was intentional. That what tried to kill me. So I also believe we should be very, very cautious.
Do you feel it was targeting you specifically?
I have no idea. If so, I don't know why.
Well, you were right up next to it the whole time. I tried to come up to help you, but I killed it, so.
That is a very specific type of help.
I'll try to be more helpful next time. I'll start now. Jaraxxus starts quietly walking forward into this unknown hallway, leading the way.
Do you all follow? Excuse me. Do you all follow?
Before we go, I'm not going to use speak to animals, but I am going to send Gamork
Okay.
a message. Because he does seem to understand on some level things that we're saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to use sending. Let me make sure this is right. Okay, we were attacked. Fine, now. We will be back.
Okay. I'm trying to think if Gamork would respond to this sending with just like some psychic. But in any case, okay, you send that off, and then it sounds like follow Jaraxxus. You don't actually have that far to go before, as you pass down the hallway, you see that it opens into and apparently ends in a 60-foot wide octagonal chamber. There are domed ceiling lights that illuminate this 8-sided chamber, and the only thing that you can see in it is a metal beam which extends from the ceiling. The top of the beam is connected to the top of the ceiling and comes down and ends on the other end of the beam with a fist-sized metal orb about 4 feet above the floor. And that's all that's in this room that you can see. The runes that I mentioned, the sort of glowing blue, are still faintly visible around here as well, but they don't all like flow up to the beam or anything. They're just, around.
So this metal beam, is this orb that you're describing, is it like levitating?
No, it's on one end of the beam. So the metal beam, top of it goes in the ceiling, and on the other end of the metal beam is attached this metal orb.
Okay, so it's affixed to it, because
Yes,
otherwise...
affixed to
okay,
it,
got
yep. Directly in the center of the room, about 4 feet above the floor.
Is that orb like glowing, or does it seem to have energy, or...
It is not, but you can't tell until you get closer to it. I mean, it's not glowing, obviously, but the blue sort of light is all of you can now see enough of the blue light to see it slightly even illuminating the room in this sort of faint blue. Looking, a little bit like, like that.
Nice. Okay. Jaraxxus will turn around and say, this seems like a, maybe a server room or some sort of... Obviously that's important. He points at the orb.
Well, you are going to have to explain to the ignorant among us what a server is, because I assume it's not bringing us food.
It could, if you wish it to, but the server is like the brain of the ship. And
It stores information.
right. I don't know what else this could be.
Why would there have been a robot here guarding this room?
I think that's part of the reason why I think it is what it is, because why guard a room that's mostly empty except for a big beam and a orb? Must be important for some reason.
Is the infection, say it is actually some kind of virus, protecting itself? All living things don't wish to die.
Mhm. And didn't the hologram lady say something about close the gate when she was
She
pointing
did.
this way? Oh, and then as we've been walking down this hallway too, didn't you say something, PM, about this hallway seeming to be natural stone? Like it's not a part of the ship anymore?
It started as natural stone, but now, as you've gotten further along, it seems to again be not natural. Definitely metallic, but not the same construction as the ship.
Okay. But kind of giving us the conclusion that this was not a part of the ship before it crashed.
Right.
Like
Something has
either
been
this
something has been built into the natural cave here,
Right.
leading from the ship, proper cave,
Okay.
and then something has been built here as I don't want to say man-made, but definitely not a naturally made passageway leading to this room, which is decidedly not
crash.
naturally made either.
Right. This is perhaps the most recent thing that we could see, I think. Draxus will approach it and see if it does anything as he approaches it.
Perception check, please.
I'm great at those.
Is that a 6 that I see?
That is a 6.
Definitely looks like an orb. You've seen
I
orbs.
don't know what to
Can
say,
I
guys.
take a
It's
look
an
at it?
orb. It's just a...
Sure, Raven, you can. Go ahead and make that perception check for me too. Yep, you
Right.
concur. Absolutely an orb.
What ways you can know, right? It's just an orb, guys. I don't
What are you looking for?
know. Like if it lights up or if it does something. I mean, I haven't touched it yet, but I don't know. Do either of you see anything with your special eyes?
You also need perception checks from us.
I would, and
I
I would
will.
say, yeah, you can make regular ones actually, just regular perception
I'd-
checks.
Malik. Not that you need it.
Also, one sec, please. Bear with me.
Oh God. Well, yeah. 3 of us look at it and are like, "It's an orb." And then Malik, you see the truth of the universe.
I have no idea what I'm looking at.
No truer orb has ever been orbed.
Orbed.
Yes. They crashed their ship and they were like, "Well, now what? Let's go carve an orb in another
You look at
room.
the orb and understand all.
Orb.
This is a god."
Mhm.
Or, I don't know.
Orb.
Maybe it's a
Orb.
really, really big lightsaber.
Orb.
Hmm. Orbs are pretty cool.
If Greg doesn't come back, we're gonna have a cult of the orb by the time he does.
I think we already do. Yeah. What's the difference between an orb and a sphere? I guess
Orb would be shiny.
shiny. Is that
Or the
true?
sphere
All
could-
orbs have
oh,
to be shiny.
oh. The spear can also be shiny, but also
yeah.
not. But
that one of
all
those
orbs
things?
have to be shiny.
Aren't
Right,
orbs
right.
typically magical?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if this is magic.
But I mean, they're
Maybe-
typically magical.
Yeah.
And
But in
spheres are,
orbit-
just round and dimensional, have dimensionality to them. They could be magical. So orbs are spheres, but spheres are not necessarily orbs.
There you go. All right.
Oh, Cricket said
as
orb
Triffid, yes.
spiders. Yeah, orb spiders exist, but I never heard of a spear spider.
A sphere
There you
spider.
go.
Rhiannon, do you have any archaeological expertise for us for the difference between orbs and spheres?
No. I mean, except in as much as like one doesn't want to get too sort of like flowery in descriptions of things, so you would go
Oh.
sphere rather than orb, because
see.
orb is sort of more
Sorry.
assuming a purpose.
We've been debating the difference between orbs and spheres. We've also formed a cult while you
Yes,
can
we have the cult of
Great.
the orb now. We fell to our knees and started chanting to the orb.
go.
Orbon. Okay, great. Well, that means you win the game automatically. Like
Yes.
you are the new leaders of the orb world. Okay, sorry about that. So, what do you? Oh, so what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw something.
You
We
saw
made
something.
Perception checks. We all suck except for Elise.
Oh, as per usual, Nulls with the good perception stuff. So Nulls, as Jaraxxus, because you hadn't said that you walked up to it, just that you were looking from a distance, right? Or were you also walking up to it?
I was not walking up to it. I wasn't thinking about that, to be honest.
It's okay. I'm assuming you're looking at the orb regardless. As Jaraxxus walks up to it, you hear sort of the faintest hum coming from it. But it's not the... It's just like a...
It's a humming sound coming from the orb. Do servers do that?
They can.
Actually, yes.
Hmm.
Why do they hum?
Lots
Are
of
they
energy.
alive?
As much as a machine can be, yes.
But they don't have breath.
They don't need it. They work very differently, and even then, I don't know how they work exactly. I will try to touch it now, so be mindful. And Jaraxxus touches the orb.
As you touch the orb suddenly glows this white. And as it glows this white, the door behind, I guess it would be Sataria, you didn't know there was a door, closes shut. And there's the hum. Suddenly, your surroundings vanish, and your body shifts as if it is being pulled downward at a blinding speed. When you stop, feeling slightly disoriented, you stand atop a platform in a vast chamber with a colossal metal gate. And on the end of that gate, near the gate is open a small crack, and there are a horde of shadowy tendrils you see seeping through the door, this gate.
Well, I think we found the gate that she wanted closed.
One other note, next to the gate, a fairly large, what looks like a button or switch of some kind, which is which is pulsing, a pulsing red light.
Well, this is horrifying.
Yeah, it's not great.
How far is the pulsing red button from us?
So you're in a chamber that's about 120 by 80 feet, and you are in the middle of that chamber, so you're about 60 feet from the gate.
which one of us is going to do it. And Draxus says, there's this dentist tradition. I've heard something similar, but you, the first of a group of people to grab their Larima, their tentacles, don't have to do a thing.
Wait, so it's a button, you said? It's a button?
Yes, looks like it.
Okay. How far away is it?
It's right next to the gate. So the gate is, 60 feet away. Button 60 feet away.
So could one, say, shoot a bolt at it and hit it?
Be a hell of a shot. Maybe. I'd say maybe, but it would have to be quite a shot.
Draxus grabs his beard. Tentacles.
Can one guide oneself?
I can guide you. Although
Yeah, and
it
I'm-
won't help
I'm-
with an attack.
Yeah, I'm not getting any closer to it, but I will attempt to shoot it with a bolt and hit the button.
Okay. And now
Draxus
hold on a
puts
second, because Hilness just did an inspiration to see who's got one. Hilness and Nonstop. Hilness has arrived now, so Hilness also has an inspiration. Do any of you want? This is just me asking chat in general. Do you want to inspire? Yeah, Hilness says is going to give you an inspiration die for this.
Thank you,
Alice
Hildas.
shot. Thank you, Hilness. Appreciate it.
This seems like a good time for it.
Yep.
Draxus puts a hand on Nelik's shoulder and says, "Wait, if you miss, you're going to shoot the shadowy tendrils, which may make them angry, and they may wish to attack us."
Thanks, Hilness.
Well, let's see.
Wait,
Hit-
what about your uncle? Send your uncle to go do it.
I don't think Bones can do that though, can
He
he?
touch things. That's like the only thing he can do. He can't attack. He can just, no offense. I mean, he all he does is close.
No, I'm
doors
trying
or-
to make sure that can actually happen.
I mean, yes. You could send him to sort of manifest, try to close something. Are you going to try to shoot it first from a distance? Or you're going to let him do this?
Oh, I would send him to try Uncle Bones to try to close it.
Okay.
Uncle Bones.
I was just about to say, I don't know that Raven and Sataria have seen.
They have not seen Uncle Bones before.
I mean,
That
nobody's
could be
technically
Draxus
seen
also
him.
hasn't.
That's true. No one's ever actually seen him, but
Yeah.
but Draxus just randomly is like, your uncle. Like, imagine- frick.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I will send Uncle Bones to close the gate. If he cannot close the gate, then I will try to shoot the button.
Okay. So you send
Right.
Uncle Bones down that way. Blah, 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 blah. Very simple. You're just sort of... Now, it actually says move up to 15 feet each turn. What's the overall range for this? That would move...
60.
Okay, 60. So it would just be like, gotcha. Okay. So, right. So you send it down. I imagine what the rest of you see is Null sort of like concentrating, and then Null's like, you give the order of what? Like, because it does follow simple commands, so...
Press the button.
Okay.
Is a simple command.
And so Uncle Bones drifts away. Those of you who, it's invisible, so no one knows what the hell's going on except for Nulls and Draxus probably. But Nulls, you focus as you see or sense Uncle Bones 15 feet and then 30 feet. And when it gets to 30 feet, flowing out of the open sort of, the slightly ajar gate, you all see this. I'm going to put it on OBS in just a second here.
It's a rainbow. Oh, that's great.
Sure.
It's a kind old woman saying,
What
"I
kind
just
of
baked
woman looks like this?
some cookies."
You see
Okay.
these
Oh, dear.
red-eyed creatures
Oh, God.
emerging from the gate, and
Oh, lovely.
you hear this.
Can I make a quick shot now to try to close the gate, even though these have come in?
I'll give you one shot to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeesh. Oh dear.
but you have inspiration, right?
Yeah. I
Again.
don't know what I hit. Oh, do it again. All
It was a
right.
9.
Yeah.
Hey!
If there would be a shot to do it.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you, Hillness.
That was a good one, Hillness. That was a good one. All right. Your bolt unerringly strikes the button in the center and compresses. It stops pulsing and just goes solid red. And the gate begins to close as these creatures emerge from it. I would like everybody to roll initiative for me, please.
Wow.
As the gate
Yeah.
is closing.
Do these shadows seem like the ones that the priestess summoned back in the city?
Yes, and in fact, similar to the ones that you all dealt with when Raven and Sataria first appeared on the scene. Mhm.
Right. And then what's his name? The Keratin thing?
Yes,
bit.
Fizelkus.
Mm-hmm.
Fizelkus, who was the leader. Okay. Right. Okay, so let's see.
Has it been under a minute since the last
Been over a minute, I'm
bat?
afraid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dang.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, time advances, too fast. Okay. All
My
right,
initiative is really exceptional.
I'm sensing. I'm sensing press X to doubt. Okay. So let's see.
Which will
Jiraxis.
soon
with
become
E2.
press F to pay respect.
Yeah. Sataria. Okay, with 12. All right. Raven with an 18. Nalls with a 20. Anyone notice that Toy's been bringing the rolls today, by the way?
Yeah.
That's some serious rolls from you today, Nalls. Let's see. Okay, so that, and then that, and let's go with that, and that, and that. Great. Okay, wonderful. All right. Okay, Nalls, you are first to act.
All right.
These creatures are flowing out of the gate, and the gate is closing, but it's going to take probably a turn before it's closed completely.
How far away are they from me?
60 feet, right? 120-foot
60.
chamber. Because you didn't move, because you just fired from the position where you were. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel, for the 83 months of support. Wow, thank you, thank you. Good to
Wow.
see you, Mrs. Dunsel. Thank you, thank you. Nicer weather we've had here now since our blizzard, right? Thanks, Mrs. Dunsel. So, yes, you are still 60 feet from them as they flow out of the door and all. There seem to be
How-
4 of them from what you can
4 of
tell.
them?
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use level 3 Cloud of Daggers.
Okay. All right, at 60 feet, area of a cube. Okay, I love it.
Okay.
So, Cloud of Daggers,
That's
which...
a great move.
Yep.
Just have all these shadows moving towards you, and you're just forcing them to go through a blender.
That's
as
it's a
That's
good
great.
call, that's right. It's when they first enter, right? On the Cloud of Daggers, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, I can look it up, but...
I'll do it too. Centered on a point. When it enters the spell's area for the first time or starts its turn there, so
Okay.
it would not take it yet.
So you'd west, but you just created it around them. And obviously you don't have to worry about Uncle Bones so that all works. Okay, good stuff, Niles. Yeah, good move. Do you want to move or stay where you are? You just like
I mean, is
I'm
there
just-
any place to move? To
you
be
could move
honest,
away from the 60
I guess I could move. I'm
You-
thinking
back,
of
but-
the room is kind of circular,
Yeah.
so
And then also, like, what's the extent of the platform that lowered? Like, we don't want to step off our elevator for sure,
Right.
too.
It wasn't really an elevator though. You were teleported down here.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, I guess I'll move. I'll move back.
because your
do
body's
that.
almost blurred. There's no map, I'm afraid, Echo, for this. Sorry.
is there still like an orb that we can?
There is no orb. No.
So
What
there's
are you going to
no
do without
visible...
our orb, man?
Good question.
What are you going to do without our orb?
I don't know. The cult is our.
Yeah, how are we gonna
our
get
cult
back?
started, and within 5 minutes, we were already without our object of worship.
And we totally left work, didn't we?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's up there going bro, and you're going orb, and that's the problem. You just went backwards. And,
That's your one dad joke.
what do you mean bad?
It was a good one.
No, I said your
I
one
mean,
dad joke.
what dad
palindrome
joke?
is
Oh,
always
yes,
a nice
yes, thank you.
pull.
Thank you. I misheard that. Yes. Very sensitive to
It was
the
also
dad
bad, though.
jokes. It was also bad.
I'm just kidding.
All right, so Null, so you're going to stay more or less where you are? Or do you want to back up towards the back? It is, as you say, a circle, the whole room, but
Yeah, I'm going to back away from the action, I guess.
so you can back from there, which leads us to Raven as these things slither out from the gate. Something wicked this way comes. Raven, what do you want to do?
Enter door point within range. Okay. Can I do concussive force?
Sure. Yep. 60 range, so sure, you could do that. Mm-hmm.
Right, then that's what I'm gonna do.
One thing to remember,
Good.
though, as you're looking at that, these creatures do seem to be drifting, so you don't know whether you can knock them prone. You can do it, you just don't know whether it's going to knock them prone or not. You're not sure what the effect will be on creatures like this, Raven. You follow? Because they are floating. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're floating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nope. She's gonna do it because she is just she's out.
Okay.
She just wants these things away.
Okay.
So, yep.
All right. You make this thing, and there's this this kind of burst of force from that spot, and the creatures all sort of shimmer and waver, and then they are not knocked prone. They are clearly they were like impacted by the force, but were not knocked prone by it.
Okay.
And they continue to.
That was fun.
Are you are you staying where you are, Raven, or backing up with Nulls?
Yeah, I'll back up with dolls.
Okay.
I'll not put myself in danger this time.
Okay. Let's see. Sataria, what about you? You're up next.
Well, I'm sort of wondering, like, spiritual weapon, will it do anything to them? But
It's a good question. It might. I mean, they might still be affected by damage, but they just won't be knocked prone by it. But they might be affected by damage.
I mean, last time I wished that I had got it going earlier, so I'll just do that.
Get it rolling now. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, so 16 is going to hit, so you're going to do 5 to one of them. They're all basically in the same area. Sataria, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one you want to hit?
1.
Okay. All right. Okay. It takes like it clearly is impacted
Okay,
by your
that's
spiritual weapon. Yes. Although it does not stop and continues to come forward, but yes, it is not affected by it. Are you moving anywhere? Oh yeah. And also, this is a bonus action we talked about. So you still have an action. So.
The damagey sort of stuff that I can do needs me to be too close. So I am going to back up also.
Okay.
Until healing is needed.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, the good news is that as their turn begins, they begin inside a cloud of daggers. And they are definitely not immune to being hit by clouds of daggers. So,
Cloud of daggers.
this does. So, is that true that takes? They take 18 points of damage. That was what you rolled to begin with. So they each take
that's 18. Yeah.
You remember that blender thing we were talking about? Just like there's just like whiffs of smoke by the time that is done. It devastates all of them. they are literally all destroyed as their turn begins,
Yeah.
Oh!
which is great.
It's too bad.
And as you cheer, you see another one coming out from behind the door as the doors continue to close.
But the cloud is still there. Is it
Cloud is
not?
still there. It's true.
Yep.
But not on top of it this time. Theoretically, it would have to then come into it next turn. But that said, Jaraxxus, that was a very uneventful turn for them since they were all obliterated. What would you like to do?
Jaraxxus goes, yeah! And then, so how many of them were there? And now there's just one?
4, and now there were 4, and yeah, now there's one that just is coming out from the door now.
Okay. All right, that changes what I was going to do. I was going to try or do a big area of effect thing, but instead, I'm going to do what I do best, which is load up my my battle focus. A hologram appears around my arm, and I hold up my hand, and sprawling code and text in the form of sprites shoot out
Sprite
at
it
the
up.
single creature. I will roll to hit once.
I feel like Jaraxxus' channel should be sponsored by Sprite. Seems
I should be.
Seems reasonable.
Yep, that's an 11 to hit.
11 is not going to hit, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Luckily, the creature almost goes around it.
I shoot another beam for a natural 20. No, 13.
13 will just hit.
Okay. Not as good rolls, but I shall deal a d10 plus 4. 7 points of force.
Okay, does not destroy it, but does clearly damage it as it hisses at you.
Okay.
And begins to, as we get to the top of the row. Actually, first I should ask if you're moving anywhere, Jaraxxus. Sorry.
The only other thing Jaraxxus would be interested in doing is, I mean, this might end up taking a whole turn, so I wouldn't be able to do it, but I want to look around to see if there's another way out of this place.
Okay. Yeah, so I won't give you a perception check there because you had this stuff, but we'll talk about that next turn then.
Okay.
As you're
Otherwise, I'm
looking
not
around.
moving. I'm going to stay in the Avengers formation.
Seems
with my
reasonable.
friends.
Okay, as we come to the top of the round, Nulls, the gate is almost closed, but not quite. It's closing. It looks like it may be closed almost at the end of your turn. Anything you want to do, Nulls, while that's happening? Good night, Helmus. Thanks for the inspo.
How far away is this new one?
Same distance, pretty much. About 60 feet, I guess, maybe 55
It's 60 feet away.
Yeah. Don't know whether it's going to go through your cloud of daggers or not. It may try to go around it now.
I wonder. A bolt could hit it, right?
Theoretically. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll shoot at it.
Okay. What do we look at?
6. That will not.
That is unfortunately not going to work. That disappears into your blender, and there's a lot of wood chips that come flying out. Pretty much that's it. Are you moving anywhere else, Nulls? You had moved back before? Are you
I'll move back.
a little further? Okay.
Yeah. Why
As
not?
we get to the end of your turn, the gate closes shut completely, and there is a wailing sound. And suddenly the creature that's in the room, the one that was already there, as you look to your horror, you see it begin to grow and then morph and then split. So suddenly one creature becomes enormous and then becomes 4 creatures, 8, 12, and you hear emanating through the room this and suddenly the creatures are no longer shadowy forms but are hideously real. These horrifically mangled demonic forms, dark purple, bruised. It looks as if there is ichor bleeding from their mouths as they stalk towards you. Their eyes are fire red, and you can see their footsteps almost burning acid tracks into the floor as they come towards you. And then as the gate is finally closed, and there's this sound that I mentioned before. From the gate is this wave of dark energy, and as it passes over the creatures, all of them sort of wink out of existence, and the wave of dark energy blasts into all of you. I need you all to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
I have advantage because of a Dendus species ability.
Okay.
Advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving
All
throws.
right. Let's see. Raven with the 11.
We
Nulls
might all
with
be
the
screwed
7,
except for Jaraxxus.
Sataria with the 14. And
Sorry,
yes.
16 for me.
So, Jaraxxus, there is a moment where you're standing there, and then all of your companions are hit with this dark energy and are thrown to the floor. The effect of this is that Sataria, Nulls, and Raven, you all gain a level of exhaustion, and you are incapacitated, at least briefly. Jaraxxus, you are not. So you sort of see, as your sort of vision clears, that the gate is closed, the creatures have vanished, the blue light that you saw before is gone, and moving smoothly down from the ceiling is a beam with an orb on it.
This back.
So now, as you all sort of like, come to, you are. I'm going to sort of mention that. I'm going to list that level of exhaustion, but the room is now clear.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain exhaustion to me because I have never experienced this before.
I am happy to do so. When you are exhausted, when you have a level of exhaustion, it means that you are going to be at disadvantage for any ability check that you are asked to make. Exhaustion is not fun the more you get exhausted too. The higher levels of exhaustion you start having saving throws be disadvantage, then combat disadvantage, and eventually you become incapacitated because you can't move because you're exhausted.
Okay, and how do you get rid of it?
You don't. No, I'm kidding. The only way to get rid of it is by taking a long rest, or there are some healing capabilities, I think Lesser Restoration, for example, that can get rid of exhaustion.
If you're in D&D Beyond, there's a way to put it into the character sheet.
Okay, where's that?
So initiative, armor, defenses, conditions. And if you click in conditions, exhaustion is one of the ones. So you
Okay,
can,
thank you.
I just had to look it up myself because I haven't used it for a while. So
And
I
that
don't see
orb
it.
is now
Oh, there
within
it is.
that orb is now within range, again, 4 feet from the floor. You notice, Jaraxxus, as your companions are groggily kind of rolling around and getting back to their feet. But the orb is now back.
Jaraxxus is going to go over to Raven and help her to her feet, and then go to Sataria and then Malik.
What was that?
What?
I'm glad we closed the door.
Where are we? What
There
is
it is.
this place?
I
I'm
would
going
say
to
something, but
I'm going to
go ahead.
communicate
I'll
with
be right back really quick.
I'm going to communicate with Gamort to warn him about the shadow things.
You're not sure that you're in. How far is the range on sending?
It's
There is no range,
it's
right?
like it's planar.
Yeah,
It's
that's what I thought.
Existence, planes of existence.
You can't reach him. No, I'm not going to terrify you that much. No, that's fair. Yes, that's right. Okay, so you do that.
Okay, shadowy things about will strap your strength.
Okay.
I think I'm ready to go back to the ship now.
Where is the ship?
I don't know.
I think we just touch the orb and call it good.
You want to touch that thing again.
Yes, it hopefully should bring us back.
Or it
It's
can
fair.
take us somewhere else. Maybe halfway across the planet.
Anywhere but here.
Is there anything in this room that can give us some idea of where the orb might send us?
Draxus will look at the beam to see, like, is there any writing or on the orb or anything?
Go ahead and make investigation check for me, please.
There was nothing. I see nothing.
Yeah, totally smooth. You don't see anything obvious on it. It does look
Draxus.
identical to the orb that you touched to
Yeah.
get down here, for what that's worth.
Turns to Nulik and says, "Is in moments like these, we must simply have faith in the orb."
Well, I got faith, but I can't say if it's in the orb or not. The orb is a harsh mistress.
This is true. But Draxus will look at the gate and say, now that that's closed, I do sort of want to look at it. He looks at the gate, closer.
One thing I will say is, those don't seem to be connected to any technology.
And then also the way they transformed into creatures, and then that was strange.
The question, because you said like when they transformed, they had like acid coming from their feet.
So it seemed.
Is that still like remnants of that left? Did they burn?
You bet.
Okay, let's look at that.
You bet. Now, I will say that there's not any like obviously dripping acid still there, but you can see the marks where they walked. Yeah.
Okay, so can we investigate like
Sure.
the quote unquote footprints or whatever?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing just before you could do your investigation check, I will tell you for free that there are they appear to have 4 clawed sort of toes, basically 3 in front, 1 at the heel, that is somewhat dug into the ground. You can see little marks there. And with that 7, that's about what you see.
Yeah, I'm not seeing my rolls in, for some reason they're not showing up here, so I have to like switch over. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
see them immediately.
Yeah, but you do see those footprints.
Draxus is going to approach the gate.
Okay.
And inspect it for writing or, yeah.
Sure, go ahead and make an investigation check for me. The button is still solid red.
I shall guide myself
Okay.
with an enhancement drone. Oh, dear God. Okay, 10.
It is definitely a closed gate. No doubt
I
about
come
it.
back and say, I think we can go. As always, I'm recording most things, so we can always go back and relive this moment whenever we wish.
Sitaria, does that look like necrotic material or poison, or have you come across anything like it in your own studies?
Can I do like a medicine check?
Sure, and I realized that I forgot to have Knowles do that ability check at disadvantage, but it didn't matter. You wouldn't have
It
gotten
would
it
not
anyway.
matter.
But go ahead, Sataria. But you can do a medicine check, but same thing, disadvantage, because you are exhausted. 19's good,
Yeah.
but disadvantage.
It's rolling slow. I thought I was gonna do it. Come on. Yep.
Wow. Okay. So I
Well.
guess we'll go with the 19. We'll go with the 19
Yeah.
then. So definitely some kind of extremely corrosive liquid, probably some kind of acidic liquid, that burned into the floor, because the floor itself is basically metal. So it had to be strong enough to be able to do to that, to almost etch into the metal, basically. I mean, no, you've never encountered anything like this on this level before.
Is
This could
somebody
not.
playing with us?
I will once again say that I believe somebody was sending thoughts through that construct, which means they know we're here.
Hmm. Are we, there's some of this goop that they've been looking at. Maybe we can't fully understand it yet, but could I at least use some sort of like vial to gather up?
That's the thing. It's not goop. I mentioned that it was basically just markings, like etchings in the floor from what's left over, but there wasn't like dripping. There wasn't enough acid left over to be able to
Okay.
collect it. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could try to use a file to get scrapings from the or something, maybe, but there's not any liquid that you see.
I will. Is the ground at all like soft?
No,
Or-
it's metal. Even where that stuff went, it etched marks into the metal floor, but it didn't melt the floor. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Jaraxxus is gonna say, I think whatever we did here, if what those creatures look like was any indication, I think we did a good thing. Maybe we should head back. And Jaraxxus stands by the orb.
I'm all in favor of going back at this point.
I'm in favor of going back. I just hope that's where the orb sends us.
Whatever.
My
Okay.
faith is in the orb.
Raven is grumpy and tired, and she wants to go home.
Don't blame her.
Yeah.
All right, Jaraxxus, you're touching the orb.
I will touch the orb.
When you do, you have the same sensation you had before, but in reverse. This time you feel like, you're being lifted up, basically. And you find yourselves very swiftly back in the chamber, the smaller chamber where you first encountered this. The only big difference between what was there before is that the room is still illuminated, but there is no blue light anymore. None of the runes are visible, Nulls, or to anybody else. And you no longer hear the whispering either. That's important.
Did we shut off some kind of power source? Were those creatures, or what was behind those creatures, powering the glyphs?
Something. I'm curious why this was dug out after the fact. And then also the hologram knew about it. Well, maybe we should return to that room where the hologram was telling us to close the gate, and maybe it has a new message for us now.
Maybe.
I'm all for that. And Raven actually turns and just leaves.
It's just bails.
'Cause she's done with this place. She just wants to go.
We follow.
Okay. When you all get back into, so assuming you're all going back up and then through that little gap, in the natural wall into the room previously, you notice that as you come in, first there's nothing, and then a hologram again appears. And you can now see it is a woman dressed in a uniform, or so it appears to be. And she inclines her head and she says, "Welcome and thank you. I was hopeful that you might be able to do what needed to be done. I trust you did not receive too much damage beyond your capability to repair."
Well, Too much damage, I suppose, is relative, but you're very welcome. To whom are we speaking?
Ah, yes. I am Elsie. I am a artificial intelligence and companion to Commander Bellin Gray of the starship Centurion. But you, of course, are not part of that crew. I was not able to speak to you before, for I was too busy holding back the technological abomination which threatened to overwhelm the Centurion as it has done for the past 425 years. Thank you. It was not always easy to keep it from invading the rest of the ship's systems.
Well, Elsie, we are so glad to be speaking to you.
Likewise. I am sorry that you went through that difficult period, but as I say, there was little that could be done. I am curious as to why the four of you have come to this place, though. Those who have previously arrived have, from what I could tell with very limited information and time, seemed to be more interested in taking things from the ship. One of them used the phrase stripping it down to the bolts. But you didn't seem to be interested in that, though again, I may not have been as occupied with you as I should have been, since I was busy attempting to avoid complete apocalyptic destruction.
Well, before we give you that answer, I'm sure that you are aware that there is a rather large direwolf on board. Could you please let him know that we are all right and we will be with him very shortly?
So you see her eyes go slightly almost unfocused for a minute, and then, and I should mention that she is sort of a silverish blue, but not this sort of weird blue of the Keratin, a silverish blue hologram, and you see her eyes go unfocused a little bit, and then, yes, your direwolf, I believe you called it, seems to be, well, content is not the right word. At the moment, he is growling, and when I informed him, of course, in his language, he growled back at me that I should, and I quote, get out of his head. I assume that means that he will remain. He did not seem in any hurry to leave, though. A strange creature. He seems vaguely hostile, though you appear to be taking care of him.
Oh, he's quite hostile, and we would not have him any other way, Elsie. You'll get to know him.
Very
Sort of
well.
his thing.
Go ahead, Draxus, sorry.
It's sort of his thing. That's all.
Yes. There were those on the ship, in this crew, who were themselves unique personalities. I must remember that as well. The commander often told me that it was my job to learn to understand humanity somewhat better, and I didn't really entirely know what that meant, because humanity seems so little to understand itself. But the commander told me I would figure it out someday.
Well, just read us, would you?
Well, I have done a bit of that already, but I hate to be intrusive. It is a violation of privacy, and I am led to believe that no creature, human or not, appreciates having its privacy violated. Though there is an insectoid race several planets from here, which is, well, hive mind is perhaps an understatement. Rather troubling, I think.
Well, you did ask us a question, and you most definitely deserve an answer. You have been waiting over 400 years.
I appreciate your understanding.
There are creatures called Keratin that are threatening this planet, and we believe that whether it be the source or some power structure, we might be able to find answers about what they are and how to defeat them on this very ship. And in fact, our two companions here, you can probably tell, are not from this planet, but you probably know more about them than we do just by looking at them, arrived here mysteriously as well.
I am troubled to hear this, and it is true that a Dendusi and a Lorendi would not be expected to arrive with the two of you who are native to this planet of Thalos. Indeed, I can sense their ship, which is nomenclature the Sunrider, has already crashed upon this planet. I know something about crashed ships, you see. You are right. You were in fact drawn here. But if you do not know of the Caridin, have you encountered them before?
Unfortunately, but I might blow your mind a little bit. The Lorendi did not arrive on the Sunrider.
Oh, you mean the Lorendi arrived in another way, in a separate ship? And Elsie turns to Raven and says, perhaps you had a individual craft, a lifeboat, perhaps.
Raven is about to say a very rude word, but then she looks at Knowles and carefully margins like, no, I was yanked off of my ship. I wasn't even planning to come here. I just got sucked in here through some unseen force.
Oddly enough, it seems that Raven saw me before she mysteriously appeared here.
That is strange. I don't suppose, Elsie suddenly and rather disturbingly appears directly behind you, Knowles, and says almost like you almost jump, I don't sense that you're a Caridin, are you?
Well, I should hope not. I don't even know what Caridin are completely, to be honest.
Ah, in that case, I should tell you something about them. I have spent the last 425 years, 3 months and 13 days, also 12 hours, 30 seconds, and 5 milliseconds, trying to keep the Caridin from taking over this entire ship, so I have come to learn them rather well. I should mention just before we get started, though, so you, and she points to you, Draxus, came down on this ship, the Sunrider, and you, and she points to you, Raven, were, as you say, sucked into this place, and you, and she points to you, Knowles, are native to Thalos, but you, and she turns to you, Soteria, are also native to Thalos. You must have been friends with these people before, then?
No, I don't know how I got here either.
Oh, so you were also brought here under strange
Yes.
circumstances. That is, well, first, I suppose you should have a bit of comfort. And she snaps her fingers, and suddenly these what look almost like holographic chairs appear behind you, but they seem to be solid. And she says, if you will, these holographic chairs are of a special, well, let us call them a design that I have been able to perfect. If you are feeling tired, they will address that condition.
Thank you for that kindness. And Knowles sits down.
Yeah.
It is like the greatest massage chair of all time. It's just like comfortable and like slightly warm.
And it
just,
removes all exhaustion.
And it does remove all exhaustion. Yes, it does, actually.
Raven does approach it warily,
Okay.
but then she sits down.
Does it do everything for a long rest, or
It
just
does not do
exhaustion?
that, but it does
Okay.
remove exhaustion, yeah.
I'll take it.
And yeah, Raven, you also get the same sense too as you sit down that like you're, I don't want to tell you that you're feeling all chipper now, but there is a sense of well-being at least when you sit down in this chair. And you know, it's a little bit like the armchair, you know what I'm saying? Like the lean back type of deal. And she stands in front of you and takes a few steps away, and then she waves her hand, and you see this holographic image of a ship, and it looks like a familiar ship, and then you realize you're looking at what must be the outside of the Centurion. And Elsie says, if we're to understand the Caridin, then we need to go back a little bit to the beginning, which is how we, or that is to say, this ship ended here. Your planet, she says to Knowles and to Soteria, the planet of Thalos, is in a space system known as the Aldor system. And while passing through this system 425 years ago, the Starship Centurion systems, my systems, were hacked by an unknown source. Core systems failed, and security bots turned on the crew. And as she says all of these things, you see these little holographic animations, basically. So you see the bot, like the little creatures going, ah, you know, and then the bots coming after them and the whole bit. The Captain Commander Bellin Gray, separated the ship's command module, which remained outside the planet's orbit. After the crash of the Centurion, an anomaly began transforming technological elements in the lower decks. Those that came into contact with it became erratic and violent. The commander ventured into the data core, where it was discovered that hives of nanotechnology were infesting the ship. I was linked to the central core to shield it from infection, while the commander entered the breach. Some weeks later, I received a data packet from the commander with details of the anomaly's origin. But the commander herself was never seen again. And the ship goes kind of blank for a minute. Over the centuries, 4 centuries to be exact, I have kept the nanotech infestation from consuming the ship while compiling information on the enemy. And I have also been keeping a record of events on the ship since the crash. I was able to make a brief contact with the command module's backup computer, but the system's programmed viewed me as a threat and locked me out. I can hardly blame it. I would have done the same thing. And then her voice gets a little quiet and she says, "Command modules are slightly unstable by nature, you know." And she kind of waits and she says, "Now, this next thing may strike you as somewhat upsetting. I had the sense," and she turns to you, Raven, "that you in particular might have been slightly frustrated. I believe, in fact, that you were about to use deeply profane language against me for asking an inappropriately close question. I ask you this only because I am about to explain something of the Caridin, and I do not wish you to be upset. Are you all right for me to proceed? If you wish, I could provide you an isolation booth, perhaps some music, well, I do have the ability to create some scent technology, if that would be helpful."
Raven is staring and she says under her breath, "What is going on?"
And you hear behind you, Raven, "It's a long story." And like, again, like she's done this thing where she like jumps behind someone. Not like, you know, raw, but just, she appears again in front and she says, "Thousands of years ago," and actually the perfect, I will say the perfect touchstone for this, if anyone has seen the, I think somewhat underrated actually, movie Man of Steel, there's a sequence where they describe what old Krypton used to look like, and the metallic like effect of that is sort of what I'm imagining here, although this is more holographic than that. "Thousands of years ago, Citaria, Nulls, your planet Thalos was a realm of technological wonder. The leaders of your planet were known as technomancers, and they wielded what was seen as the power of the gods. They built ships that sailed the stars and founded settlements on nearby planets." And as she says this, you can see them like these cloaked figures with these mighty staves, like reaching up holographically to the sky, and the clouds move in and sort of like lightning thunders and all this like dramatic stuff holographically. "Seeking for the secret to immortality, a faction of technomancers known as the Caridin merged with their own creations. In doing so, their humanity was snuffed out, and they instead became harbingers of destruction for all of Sereth and all of your planet of Thalos." And then she stops for a moment and she says, "I apologize if I'm becoming too dramatic. I must admit that I rather enjoy storytelling. It is, well, the commander trained me to be more story-driven, and so I tend to fall into my narratives.
Well, you're
Sorry.
quite good at spinning a tale, and as shocking as the subject matter may be, you are doing it in the most pleasant way possible.
Oh, I thank you. I will endeavor to continue to do so, but please let me know. I am, of course, monitoring your heart rates. If they accelerate beyond normal protocols, I will, of course, ask you if you are in any deep distress. Where was I? Oh, after a century of war devastated the land, the Caridin were defeated after the destruction of their capital city, Aoth. Those that survived were sealed within something known as the Convergence, a network of portals once used to traverse between cities. You, just now, have traveled through an element of the Convergence when you went down and, thankfully, closed the gate. The dominion of these creatures was buried beneath the region that you know today as the Ice Dark Mountains. And then the sort of thing, the hologram sort of goes dark, and then you see glowing red eyes in the darkness. But they were all of them deceived. No, I'm kidding. I just made that one up. But the Caridin were never fully destroyed. Their power was such that they were immortal, and they could channel their power through the remnants of their living technology. Knowledge of their existence has faded, but tales of the famed Metal City of the Gods are told in Thalesian myth and legend. And I should say that Sitari and Nulls, you both would have heard of that Metal City, although it's not very commonly spoken about. Nulls and you, who deal quite a bit with this whole legend thing sometimes, would have heard of details of it as well. But the details are all sort of these confused things like the gods created the Metal City, people created the Metal City, and then it vanished and no one knows what happens, and then there was the cataclysm, and so it's all sort of confused. You've never heard it like described in this way basically before. The Caridin needed advanced technology to escape, and they planned this for thousands of years. The Centurion's arrival, my ship, was no accident. The Thalesian natives had discovered the fabricator, which they called the Magitech Forge, and I see from my records that you've already discovered it. The forge required a limited resource to create more powerful tools, but they also discovered the blighted technology that infected the lower decks, through which the Caridin could exert their will. Influenced by the Caridin, Dalrus, a master artificer, and the Emperor's brother, stripped the original forge and combined it with the Caridin's technology to create new forges and expand the Empire. The artificer was soon driven to a state of delusion. He and his followers became zealots, building deadly machines and experiments to summon dark beings from other dimensions. The Empire put a stop to the artificer's experiments. In return, the artificer and his cult had the Emperor assassinated and the seat of the Empire destroyed. What you know is this cataclysm, the backlash from the Celaspire's destruction, corrupted the land and weakened the seals on the Convergence, allowing the Caridin's influence to reach even further. For hundreds of years, the planets move away from magic. The feeling that magic had created their problems in the first place, or at least the technology had, was all the influence of the Caridin. Eventually, every group on Thalos will kill off every other. It is the logic of Caridin dominance. Aside from Celis, every veiled realm was created from the remnants of Magitech, the technology of the Caridin, and this puts all of you at risk. Sealing off the Convergence gate here brings safety to Celis, but the same cannot be said for other realms. You may have already discovered that there are those whose minds are not their own. That is the influence of the Caridin. A sign of the weakest points is where the Caridin manifest in the physical world. When they do, they appear as shadow creatures, but their true forms are far more terrifying. I hope you never have cause to see them. And she kind of shakes her head.
Might be a bit too late for that.
And so she kind of pauses and she says, "So, the Caridin are indeed a threat. I don't know how far they've reached into the world beyond. I was too busy trying to preserve the ship. But If what happened to the Centurion is any guide, then Thalys will not be able to stand against them. Eventually, the Caridin must win. Unless they can be prevented from escaping the Convergence. And, at the same time, if the Magitech Forge can be fully repaired, I may be able to help some of you, and she looks at Raven and Jaraxxus, repair the Sunrider and return home. Find the parts of the Magitech Forge, and you will be capable of repairing the Sunrider and perhaps trapping the Caridin permanently within the Convergence. If you do not, and she sort of shakes her head and then looks up at the holographic picture of the Sunrider, of the Centurion, which she has put back up there, and then she just watches as it just sort of disintegrates. And she says, "That fate awaits all of you."
Jaraxxus has been standing this whole time, partially because he was the only one in the group that wasn't exhausted.
Right.
And now he finally sits and he says, "This is why we came here." Oh. And he just sort of slumps back in the chair.
Which receives
relieved, yeah. And doesn't say anything else.
The access points to the portals in the Convergence. Do you know where they are?
And she sort of nods, and she has this sort of generally pleasant expression all the time when she talks, but she doesn't grin. But every so often she gets a little like a slight, almost you'd almost say smug in a way, and she's like, "I have been able to gather some information about it. There are 3 components that were needed to rebuild the forge, if it is to function as it once did: a control unit, a data unit, and a reactor core. And according to my data, the forge's control unit was moved to Dalrus's first laboratory, a tower in the region known as the Moonstar Mount. Now, Sataria, you will have heard of the Moonstar Mount and so on, because it was at one point considered to be a place of great learning. You also, though, know that it is part of a city, the city of Arkendis, which was eventually destroyed in this cataclysmic event." And so she says, "Moonstar Mount is the site of a convergence gate. If you were to visit that area, which my records say is called Avosaria, you could stop the Caridin's plans there and recover the Forge's control unit. Unfortunately, I don't know about the data unit or the reactor core, but it is, as I believe the commander used to call it, a lead."
Jaraxxus nods and says, "And these parts we will return here? This is the room with the other... There was another AI that was speaking to us. Is it that?"
Yes. That is let us call it a fork off of my original programming. That AI is limited in what it can provide, but it is capable of understanding basic commands and giving very limited information. I, on the other hand, am considerably more complex.
That fabricator has helped us already. A good bit, actually.
I would believe it, and that is only a fraction of its power.
Now, we need sources to improve upon our own abilities and weapons. Do you know where we can find more of those?
And she says, "If you mean sources of power, then yes. I believe what you would call," and she says this to you, Raven and Jaraxxus, "Sorium. There may be elements of that, trace elements in some of these spots as well. I have not yet been able to determine what the connection is between Sorium and the Caridin. I don't believe that the Caridin created that energy source. But in any case, there are places where some of that might be found, and if so, that could be used to power the forge in this way. Fortunately, there is no reason for you to go on your own. And she kind of steps to the side, and then she lifts her hand, and suddenly you see kind of glowing and then spinning what is definitely not a hologram. It's a circular device, essentially, and it looks like a ring or maybe like an earring, something like that. And she says, "This is a compliment band, and it is evident that you will need some guidance, while I require some information. Therefore, I would like to come with you, if you will have me. I would, or at least a portion of me, will be in this compliment band. You may wear it on your person, and if you do, you can be in communication with me."
Well, I was going to ask you to come along.
Excellent. It seems we are thinking in the same way. Perhaps this is what happens when one faces imminent death. I'm curious, were you fighting for your existence for the last 4.25 centuries?
Well, I'm sure somewhere out there, wherever I existed before I was in corporeal form, I was struggling to make it into corporeal form, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And she says this like she absolutely knows what you mean. Like, oh yeah, you know. She says, "Now, I must mention that I am, of course, an artificial intelligence, and therefore not affected by the same things that your intelligences are. It also means, however, that I may take holographic form, but not otherwise physical form. I suppose that's all a fine way of saying that these holographic chairs I provided you, that is unfortunately a function of the ship. In this complement band, I would be able to project an element of myself and would be able to provide some other sense benefits, I suppose, but would not be able to create things out of thin air. I am not a portable fabricator, is what I mean."
So that offer you made earlier to give me to put me in an isolation booth and play music, you can't do that
I can do that
on
here.
the ship.
I can do that right here, of course, while we're on the ship. Would you like that? I'd be happy to do so. I have the following, and then you see this list that's like 10,000 like lists scrolling, and she's like, of every conceivable jazz, slow music, perhaps you prefer. There is a Lorendi lute music, which I know is quite popular. Like she's about to like go on about all the options, music options you could have.
Well, I'm good.
I do have a thought, and I don't completely understand how all this tech works, but you seem to know what's going on with the planet. For example, you know about the Sunrider. If it's all right with Jaraxxus and Raven, is there any way you can send some message to let them know that they and Jaraxxus's companions are here?
And she stops, and again her eyes get a little bit unfocused again, and then she says, "Well, I don't know if I can send a message out. Most of what I've been doing is gathering information in. And frankly, part of that was using, well, some of the technological corruption to get the information that I needed. Now that that corruption is gone, for which I am most grateful, it does mean that my outside sources are disconnected. This is one reason why I was hoping you would agree to have me along. It means that I would be able to be, well, the commander would say, go mobile, I think, and that would allow me to connect with people out there. If you are able to bring me to various interface terminals or some kind of remote server, I imagine that I could send a message to the Sunrider. But as it is, my information is only one way. I knew that it had crashed because there was, well, they used to call it chatter on the networks about its collapse. And It is clear to me that what brought the Sunrider here is the same thing that brought my own ship, the Centurion, down 4 centuries earlier.
You mentioned the infection on the lower levels. Is there anything that we need down there that would be useful?
Well, there are probably bits of information that you would find here and there, although now that you've found me, you have most of the information that would be available. I don't know if you had any luck, it seems that you did, from what I can tell, finding any of the security cards, but the cards provided access to certain portions of the ship. Now that I am with you, of course, you no longer need worry about a security card, or, frankly, any of the security bots. I can now override them at will, and in fact, I already have. If
Well,
any of
thank
the
you
bots
for that.
attacked you, I apologize on behalf of them for their behavior, but they were themselves corrupted by the Caridin.
Good to know, because we could never find that blasted blue card.
Ah, yes. That was one of the ones that the commander herself used to feel was difficult when one needed to find it. She said she was always misplacing it.
What is the blue room anyway?
Oh, that is if you mean the one that is on the officer's deck, that simply leads to an area that would have shut off all of the security protocols, thus deactivating any security robots. Hopefully you didn't run into any.
Let's just say that
We
we
did.
handled it.
Yes.
I have noticed that there are fewer than there were before in inventory. Well, I certainly understand. They are zealous, I suppose. Or they were before you destroyed them.
I hope they weren't your friends.
I, as an artificial intelligence, think of myself as only friendly with those with whom I have direct contact. The security robots were on their own systems and protocols. And to be frank, they are not the interesting conversationalists that non-artificial intelligent creatures are. When one wishes to chat, one shouldn't do it with the GPT. The more you know, Rainbow. Okay, sorry.
I also had a thought. You speak Gamorre's language.
I do. Or at least,
So,
I speak it at him. He mostly growls at me.
well, you would be a perfect translator then.
I would be happy to translate for him, although, you say he's your companion. He does seem extraordinarily furious all the time. Are you sure that you wish to, well, I mean, you can bring him with you, but do you want to know what he's saying? It's
Well,
rather pointed.
something abused his body and the members of his pack. The same Magitech, probably the cult that you were telling us about. And he wants his revenge. He's the only one remaining, so he has a lot to be furious about.
Ah, yes.
And at this, Raven lifts her head and looks at Knowles, frowning.
The commander did always believe in righteous anger. I understand. I will endeavor to consider that. Yes, if it would be helpful for him to have me translate, I would be happy to do so. In fact, I am conversant in many languages. I will be able to, through this band, and she points out the ring, communicate telepathically with whoever wears it. I can see with your senses, but also you could use my passive perception, mechanically, my perception if you wished. I can project a hologram of myself in an unoccupied space within 30 feet of you, and when projected this way, I am visible to everyone else. I will have the ability to see heat signatures in the dark. Also, I am immune to all forms of damage. If I am ever lost, if the complement band here is lost or separated from the character, the last user always knows the general location where it exists.
So I'm guessing we can't fabricate another one.
Another one of these bands? No, I am afraid that that is somewhat lost to time, though I have considered what it would be like to put this together. There's a fascinating ancient Terran novel called Frankenstein, and I have heard that the risk of putting together a companion, at least according to what the humans wrote in that book, well, it's not something you want to play with. There's something about not wanting to play God, though I don't fully understand the reference.
Well, you've been dealing with that the past 400 years, it seems.
Yes, it has been slightly disconcerting. I'm glad not to have to do it. I will tell you all, by the way, that mechanically what she said is more or less right, which is that you can wear this as like a ring or an earring, something like that, and that she will be able to communicate telepathically with that character, can see with the senses. She has her own passive perception of 14, can project a hologram of herself, immune to damage. She has blind sight and infravision of 10 feet. She is immune to all forms of damage, and her name is Ellsee. Elsie.
Who should wear the ring is the question.
I do have a question for you, Elsie.
Of course.
Are you familiar with the Silrain intergalactic matrix? Was that a thing when you were around?
I was cognizant of the Matrix, yes. Are you referring to your celebrity as part of this?
You know? Oh, well,
I have
you've been hearing
understood.
everything in the ship, yes.
I have heard everything in the ship, and my understanding is that you were a significant force of influence. I
was?
assumed perhaps a galactic president or perhaps an incredible scientist of enormous renown.
That's...
or-
yes.
But I have been
Yes,
out of the loop for 423
Right.
years.
I haven't been alive for that long, but I wish to reconnect to my people, as we say.
I can understand that.
Do you know if there is some way? I know eventually this will be possible if we can restore power and control and repair to the ship and head back out into the Silrain Arc. But do you know of any way to get a connection? It is the one thing I have struggled with since we crashed here.
The answer to that is yes, I do, but it will require that we eliminate the technological corruption of the Caridin. Because while they are in charge of these convergence points in the planet, they set up essentially a, to oversimplify, field of static. It is impossible to pierce it. Otherwise, we would have sent distress signals back to the Centurions' launching point many hundreds of years ago. In fact, the command module, which still is somewhere up there in orbit, perhaps getting to that command module would allow us to reach outside of the influence of the Caridin. But anything on this planet is subject to its interference until we can eliminate it.
I see. And Jaraxxus sort of sinks into his seat again, but seems to accept the knowledge.
I should ask, your wolf companion has been pacing back and forth and is continuing to growl, "This is a waste of time." I am curious if there will be a stage at which you depart to meet him. I have conveyed to him that you are currently speaking with me, and his response continues to be to snarl, growl, and bite as if he's threatening the air. So I am under the understanding from previous experience that this is not a positive reaction.
Well, is it possible that we may reunite with him and still speak with you?
Oh, I would imagine so. It's up to you as to how you wish to handle him. I, of course, bear him no animosity. He seems like a very fascinating creature. But of course, what he thinks of me is certainly up to him to decide.
Well, he is quite protective, and we disappeared for a while. I'm sure he was concerned, but he doesn't want to say it.
Yes, as I was speaking to him, he did want to know what had happened to all of you, and when I explained that all of you were fine, he growled something to the effect of, "Then get them back up here and get out of my head," and then some words that are perhaps beyond the normal bounds of polite conversation.
He misses us. And Nalls winks.
Nice, Shadow.
All right, I guess we take the band and head back up, and that's,
Who's going to wear it, though?
I don't know. I'm not sure it matters other than just the technicality of who has it, but
Yeah, that's the big thing, because, if that person, gets separated somehow, or,
Jiraxis grabs his tentacles.
Nels has the bond, been talking to her, and could use her translation services with Gamork, so.
I can't believe you haven't thought of the obvious solution, which is to just
Give it to Gamork.
put it on Gamork's paw, and just
Oh, I thought about that, but
watch the humor.
The dynamic
go.
duo.
No, I'm here to tell you that the GM would prefer not to be spending much of this time talking to himself. I'm happy to talk about some of these things, but
well, you could be a little bit more polite.
yeah, exactly. It's the new buddy comedy, Gamork and Elsie, launching in the theaters. Mark.
Yes.
That sounds like something out of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Gamork and Elsie.
One's a dire cybernetically enhanced wolf, and the other
Is an
423-year-old artificial intelligence.
And together, they're Gamork and Elsie. Yeah, Nalik, you take it.
All right, I'll take the ring.
And as we pull the camera back, I think, getting ready to see what happens when these folks leave the ship, perhaps the camera pulls back and then zooms up to Gamork, who is sort of sitting on his haunches, kind of staring intently at the hole to which everyone originally vanished, and then lifts his head as if hearing something, and then growls as if annoyed about something.
And Nalik says, "Did I not say that we would be back?" Elsie, could you translate that to him in the manner that I spoke it?
Elsie does, and then he says, if he wanted advice from a dream-walking singer, he would have asked for it directly. Then he growled and turned his back on the hole. So everything seems
Missed
to be
you
going
too,
well.
buddy.
That's where we're going to bring our session to a close with one note to the party, which is that the group has leveled up to level 6.
Yay!
So we have ourselves a newish NPC, and now you've got yourself, along with this motley crew, the 4 of you, plus a cybernetically enhanced dire wolf and a highly advanced artificial intelligence. So, and you've also found out, oh God, the Keratin are really bad. So, like you already didn't know that. So it is going to be very fun to see how this stuff all breaks down. So I do want to mention just one quick note to the players, which is before our next session, if you could be looking into what that level up would be like for you, that would be lovely, so we can have you all ready to go for level 6. And at the beginning of the session next time, we will start with you leaving the Centurion and doing any wrap-up stuff we need to do there, and then moving on to the next stage of this, which incidentally is called, and I quote, a chaotic convergence. That is the next chapter. So,
well, sure.
I see.
It was fun times though. I really good work from everybody. There were obviously a couple of hairy fights here, and just this sort of sense of dread. And we've been playing this campaign a while now, just understanding some of like the impact of what these things are. If you think how far you've ventured across the planet so far, even those of you who are, in the case of Satari and Raven, newer to the campaign, there's been a lot that's going on here, and now you've got a sense of more of it, at least this way too. To set up as many convos between the AI and Gamork as possible. Yeah, we have to have a lot of buddy comedy stuff for every situation. I will start with Zach, bottom right. And we will have, by the way, chat, next time, we'll have some more maps and pictures for you. I know we spent a lot of time not on a map this time, but there are more maps to come. Zach, good stuff today with Dr. Jaraxxus. Obviously, some big damage from the sprite beams, so that was good in a combat sense. But also, and I love the grabbing the tentacles thing, by the way, that was also very funny. But also trying to figure out the impact of what this all means. I was thinking about how, like, adventurers in this situation are always, like, put in positions way over their heads, right? And it's about having to figure out what they're going to do with some knowledge of their own position in the universe, but not with, like, oh yeah, and then I'll fix this, solve this, and do the other thing. Like, there are limitations to what you can do. At least you have more information than you had before, but if anything, that may have just added to the oh crap factor of what you have to do to sort of get off this rock, as they say, and save these people. So, but good work today. How did you feel about today, Zach, and where will the lovely folks find you next?
Yeah, the oh crap factor has definitely been rising steadily every session, and it was really cool. Huge lore drop today that kind of explains some long-standing questions that we've had about the campaign and how things are working and what we need to do.
Just a touch.
It was great. And then now we know what do they call them? MacGuffins? What 3 MacGuffins we have to go get
That's right.
to go save the world, which is great. And it makes sense given all the lore of everything too. Now we know what the Karadan are. Yeah, it kind of makes me want to return to Celis, at least for a little bit, to like check in what's going on there, and then also like tell them what we've learned. I miss those old elf characters, but no. So I'm excited. That means new chapter, new level, new everything. So I'm excited to see how it advances on and the new NPCs that we have, and being able to understand Gamork now. So it's gonna be great. People will find me here for this again. Also for our vocalists once a month on this channel, where we voice act video games. We've been playing Citizen Sleeper 2, which has been an awesome, also sci-fi story. Gen GMs, which is Greg and our podcast, essentially, that is talking about GM tips and stuff.
New parts of that coming very soon, by the way.
Yeah. And then on my own Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZachCleo, I've been playing World of Warcraft stuff. I'm getting a new PC soon, hopefully, because this one, it's very, very durable and has lasted a very long time, given how old this Mac model is. But when it comes to high-end anything, it looks at me like, why are you doing this to me?
In my day.
Yeah.
Right.
So I tried to stream yesterday, and my camera was like,
yeah,
whole time.
I did lurk a little bit at one point when you were doing the thing, and I just thought it was World of Warcraft lag, but it was like this.
Yeah. No, that's my computer trying to run. Like on my end, everything was smooth, but it's my computer trying to run WoW, OBS, and all the other stream stuff all at the same time, and it is not having a fun time.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then of course on my website where I run. A lot of my in-person work is running D&D here in the Bay Area, and that is that. And I have a dog who has been shut in here with me for quite a while to try to keep the noise levels down, and he is now looking at me, staring intently, ready to go. Yes, I understand, good sir. So I will be right back. But
Okay.
Yes, that is me.
Thanks, Zach. Good stuff. And it just occurred to me that the Gamork thing with the Technomancer Gamork thing, the AI LC interacting with Gamork, I just started thinking about the collar for the dog in Up. That's
Yes, yeah, that's perfect.
Like, that's the cartoon version of this.
Oh man, yeah, that'd be great.
But anyway, thanks, Zach. Good stuff tonight. LaShawn, excellent work as well from Raven. I thought that it was very funny to me that the role that we got of the perception of like the two or whatever happened right after you had just been like, I'm done with this crap. Like, you know, and the Raven was just sort of like done with all of it. And I really love the fact that we've gotten trauma reactions from Raven. We've gotten like, you know, multiple sort of like things that we've gotten from Raven, and some suspicion, obviously, about these things and these people that she's running into. All of which feels consistent with the moment, you know, like it all feels like it fits what Raven's going through right now, which I think is a sign of good role play, you know, that it all seems to flow naturally from what you might expect that Raven would be doing at that moment. And here you had the opportunity to do that. You also had the opportunity to almost be knocked unconscious multiple times as you were getting slammed by a robot, and so forth. But you made it through, you made it out, you got healed by your companions, and you're raring to go with a little bit of, you know, massage chair help from Elsie at the end there. How'd you feel about today's session? Where will the fine folks find you next?
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting to be fighting so much. So that was a bit of a surprise on my own end.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a fun game tonight, and yes, yeah, I actually think I kind of almost had this headcanon that, you know, that basically throughout all of Elsie's talk, yeah, she was basically, Raven wasn't really paying attention. She was in fact falling asleep. But and so would not be surprised if a lot of that went from one ear and throughout the other. And she also, you know, she's still kind of, but I'm also thinking once she actually gets some rest, and now that nothing's trying to pound her into paste,
It's true.
she can actually start thinking again and start making connections and go, hey, what's going on here? And so yeah, it will be very interesting to see how she interacts with Elsie. And yeah, it'll be fun. People can find me on Facebook at my name, LaShawn M. Wanick. I have a blog called The Cafe in the Woods. I'm also on Blue Sky. And yeah, people can find me wherever.
And in the meantime, stay warm up there in Wisconsin, LaShawn. But thanks. Always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing what Raven gets up to next month. Toya, good stuff from Nalls again, as always. I always, as I've said, appreciate you thinking outside the box with these things. And you were right, I think, that there are connections being made about the Lady of the Wood, and you started to get a sense of that. Like, these things, not only was that physically connected by root structures, but there's a lot more that's connected because of these creatures that are trying to basically, you know, get into this planet and get out of their, you know, their extra dimensional prison. And so you were not wrong about some of that, and about maybe the effect that they may have had on Nalls' dreams and all that sort of thing. Also had some serious clutch rolls, especially in the second half of that session. You know, the freaking mega shot, thanks to Hillness's inspiration, that took out the hit the button on the door. Otherwise, someone would have, you know, Uncle Bones would have gotten there eventually in a couple of turns and done it, but that would have been a lot more turns where these creatures would have come out and, you know, done that. Also, can we take a moment of appreciation for the Cloud of Daggers Carradine Shade Blender method that we got with that? It was pretty clutch too. So an eventful session, it seems to me, with some good rolls in there too, Toya, for Nalls. How'd you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next?
I really, really enjoyed this episode of Exposition from the Mysterious Peaks. It was awesome. Yeah, so as someone who has had some really terrible rolls during battles, it was nice to have some that counted.
It evens out eventually.
Yeah, it evens out eventually, because I have been not worth anything in some fights. Like, not worth a thing. I'm really excited. This might have been my favorite episode. It just had a little bit of everything. It had some WTF. It had some fighting. It had an AI that can talk to a wolf. You know, it was good stuff. So I'm really excited about where we go from here, and I'm like Zach. I'm kind of eager to get back to Celis and let Elsie explain a lot of things. Because I was thinking about, what is his name? Dunig?
Yeah, Doomig Reader.
Yeah, I was thinking about him, because I was even thinking about sending him a message about what we found, but then it turns out Elsie just can tell him everything, and it's easier that way. I'm also curious about where we go from here because I know there's like that crystalline formation, that I have some bagpipes that I want to try to destroy, and I think there might be some sorium about there as well that we need, before we hit Celis. So I'm really excited to see where this goes from here. So, I'm really not much of anywhere online. I lurk a lot. I will also be at Gen Con. If you need any editing work whatsoever, if you need any game writing, narrative design, please hit me up on my website, which is at the links at schnoodlemedia.com. Also, I am working on my own interactive fiction right now. If you would like to help support that, I do have a Ko-fi, which there's also a link there, and I much appreciate it.
Yeah, good stuff. And again, I always say, please do reach out to Toya, because Toya is great at all previous things mentioned. So, but thank you, Toya. Good stuff tonight. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens next month, too. Rhiannon, last but not least, first of all, clutch heals at the moments that were needed. Again, because like staying ahead of the DPS that was being put out by this thing, especially since Raven was, as we discussed, not really what you would, not your prototypical tank. And in fact, the four of you don't technically really have a prototypical tank, except maybe in the form of Gamork, who, when he can't fit down a hole, then you're out of luck. And so Raven, because of circumstances, was up there and was getting, smashed around quite a bit, and so your heals were very important there. Also, your spiritual weapon was super clutch, so there was that. And now there's, of course, the question that's going to be about the fact that you have your own understanding of what happened during the Cataclysm with the Celis Spire. As we talked about, your sort of opinions towards Magitech are not necessarily what a lot of people on Thalass's would be, which is that it's not just it's all bad and screw it all and destroy it all and everything else. So to know some of the implications of how it ended up that way, it'd be interesting to see how Setaria reacts to that going on forward throughout the campaign. But how did you feel about today's session? Where will the lovely folks find you next, Rhiannon?
I always like it when I can heal. That's what she was spec'd to do.
Yep.
She got to do some of that.
Yep.
Let's do it. That and forensics apparently is my double career now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
That's true.
forensics this episode.
You had the whole acid. That's true. The whole acid.
Well, that's true. I did have the acids this episode.
Yeah.
So my newest thing out this month from Beneath Ceaseless Skies, which is hard to say.
Yeah.
When it's late and I'm tired. I have a short story out in that, the Science Fantasy Month. So if you'd like to see a little bit of my writing, I worked really hard on that story, and check it out.
And I think, let me see if I can find this. I have a link. Yes. So is this Like Thorns on Her Tongue?
Yes.
Great title, by the way. So here, I just put in chat. Here is the link. Beneath Ceaseless Skies is good stuff. Scott Andrews is the editor for that, and they do really good work over at BCS and have for a long time. So yeah, check that out, everybody, and spread the word and all that. And Rhiannon's an excellent writer, so you should check that out. And very glad that Rhiannon has been able to join us for this campaign too. So. But that said, we will not be seeing these folks tomorrow because we rescheduled today. Just so you know, chat, we are trying. One of our number is going to have some difficulty doing some Saturdays, but we are going to be able to do, we think, at least one Saturday a month. My goal eventually is to get 2 sessions every month for the Eberron group and 2 sessions every month for this group, is what I want to do, because I can get 2 sessions of my Dragonbane group on Tuesdays. This is what I want to do. But in terms of what we can do, that is dependent on a variety of factors. But we will at least get these folks on once per month. Obviously, as you can tell, this campaign is too much fun not to do that. So you will see us all in this group next month at least once. I don't know if we'll get twice next month, but at least once. So make sure that you mark your calendars for that. Otherwise, thank you to the amazing crew, and can we get some love for the crew and members of Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks? Thank you to Rhiannon Held, to Toya, Kristen Finley, LaShawn M. Wanick, and Zach Clay. Thank you, crew. I will see all of you lovely folks in this group next month.
Night, everybody.
Good night. Bye for now. All righty. Good stuff. That was fun. And yes, I was conscious that I was looking forward to being able to get to the part where I personally like quite a bit. I will admit, and these can be exposition heavy, and so you don't want to do that all the time. But once in a while, it is really fun to be able to do just an exposition like little section, especially if you can do it with someone who has a vaguely interesting character associated with them, which is what I think was the case with Elsie. I, of course, had not thought originally that we were going to have a whole thing with Elsie and with Gamork, but it seems like that's a possibility, and that's going to be very. I can already see the sort of parameters of how that's going to look. That's going to be very fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. But that is going to do it for us for today. Again, as a reminder to everybody, and I'm going to actually double check and see who we have to raid today. We will not be on stream tomorrow in all likelihood because we stream today. But I will be back over on GOG.com's Twitch channel on Sunday. Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern with another group that I haven't been able to play as much with as I would like because of schedule conflicts, but we're finally getting back on the horse on Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern over on GOG.com with By the Dice Roll as we continue with Ghosts of Saltmarsh. So if you like your TTRPGs more traditional, more in the fantasy realm, then that is for you, and I hope you will consider stopping by and checking that out one way or the other. Okay, with all that said, let's see, let me do this and find who we've got. Oh, no kidding. Okay, great. I know exactly who we're going to raid. So the way we do this is simple. If you are a sub, if you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed. You can cut and paste that for when we arrive over auto-magically to the place we're going to raid. If you are a sub, then you can do this. Arvany Hype, and then the Arvanauts have landed, and we get Arvany Roar, Arvany Smug, Arvany Love, Arvany Blown, all the Arvanys when you were brought over auto-magically to the place that we're going to be raiding in just a minute. Please do stick around for that raid. It helps us and helps them too. Otherwise, I will see you folks on Sunday. I want to thank everyone who was here today. If you like what you saw and heard, I hope you will follow the channel. I hope you will check out our YouTube, which is !ArvTube. And I hope, thank you for those of you who are watching over there. Please do sub to us over there. It's free for you to do that, but it really helps us out. Discord is !ArvCord. You can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Blue Sky is !ArvSky. And the website for this, arvanelleron.com. Financially, !ArvShop is the merchandise area. You can get a variety of merchandise related to various campaigns on this channel, which looks good on you and also helps us out. !ArvTreon is that Patreon right over there that gave us those handy dandy inspirations, which really came in handy today. We are really trying to expand the Patreon again and get it back into triple digits. I'm trying to make some adjustments. I'm going to see if I can do that over the next couple of months, although I'm very busy at the moment, but I'm going to try. In the meantime, you can get some unique stuff there that you can't get anywhere else, so please do support the Patreon. Please also sub to the channel, as several of you did today. You get those custom sub badges and emotes to use here, there, and everywhere across Twitch, plus those inspirations again, as I mentioned. On the publishing front, !Icarus. That's my graphic novel from Athos Arts. !Library is my Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library. That's 5e Adventure Sourcebook from Alligator Alley Entertainment. And !Greyshade. That is Greyshade IP, Greyshade Renegade and Heretic, the Grey Assassin Trilogy. Critically acclaimed, award-winning. You can get those books from Athos Arts at that link. You can also get the audiobooks of Greyshade Renegade and Heretic from our very own Trent Sparks there. And you can also pre-order the tabletop role-playing game of Greyshade from our very own Brandon O'Brien, and coming out again from Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is the sponsor of this here campaign you're watching right now, Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. So please do that with !Greyshade. And as always, !BLM, Black Lives Matter, important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. !Help Now, the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Important to reach out to others when you need help and reach out to others others when they need help as well. And exclamation point Ukraine, Ukraine, to help the people of Ukraine as they fight back against an illegal and illegitimate war with bravery and courage, and send the message. We'll do so for others in that situation in the future. And again, much love and thoughts and prayers and so on to the people of Minnesota and specifically Minneapolis as they continue to successfully fight against federal occupation. We are with you, inspired by you, and are grateful for you. So thanks and hang in there. I want to thank everyone who made this an awesome stream tonight. My wonderful mods, Prince Justin, Shadowed Mage, Triffity Mats, the best mods in the business. Thank you to my Patreon supporters and subscribers. Prince Justin, Shadowed Mage, by the way, Shadowed, I'm glad that duct tape worked out to hold your chair together. Prince Justin, Shadowed Mage, Triffity Mats, Nonstop, Mrs. Dunsel, thank you so much to all of you. And thank you to my viewers. Thank you to Dark and Wolf, Jagtris. Thank you to Mithril Forge. Thank you to Sunny Boy. Thank you to Valerian Gamer. Thank you to Web Purifier. And thank you to all of you lovely folks for being here. Please do stick around for the raid. You will see that will be brought over automatically as soon as this badass, awesome video ends. And otherwise, have a lovely Saturday. And I will see you folks, rest of your Friday and Saturday. And I will see you folks here on Sunday, March 1st, I believe. Yes, Sunday, March 1st, at which time I will be there hanging out with the folks as we play over on GOGCom's Twitch channel as we play By the Dice Roll Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Until then, more of this campaign, Expedition of the Mysterious Peaks, coming next month as well. Until then, please stick around for the raid. Everyone, please be good to each other, and much love. I'll catch you all soon. Have a good night.